La.
All right. So as far as we were going here, so like I said, we have a little bit of a scenario. Um, Violet, do you mind? Sorry, yours says Violet slash player. I just noticed that. If you don't mind. Okay, so Violet, you were traveling with part of a group that was patrolling the road between Daggerford and Waterdeep. And then, as you were going along, things seemed fairly standard. All of a sudden, you saw coming from what looks like the direction of the forest a huge tower rising from the ground and flying away. So, with that, your commander, realizing that you're the closest to Waterdeep, says that you need to, with great haste, make your way into the city to find reinforcements and gather help. There's clearly been an incident in the Ardeep Forest, if not in Nightstone. So,
Hi, Captain.
that's right. Now, for your part, Liam, you have been wandering around and finding that this particular city of Waterdeep has a little bit more mud and a little bit less adventure than you were kind of hoping for. And you're wandering around the market thinking about this when all of a sudden a group of people on horseback come charging in and start ringing and clanging on a war drum, asking for anyone to come and help. There seems to have been a giant attack.
Um,
So,
looking
and
up,
more, yeah.
can I?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Looking up from his tankard, Liam shifts his bulk to standing and starts strolling towards them, like raising his hand. Hey, hey, what's up?
Absolutely. Now, Morel, you were here just restocking your parchment and feeling the same. And for your part, Lopenea, though, wandering through, I don't know if shopping was as much on your mind today, except because you had already kind of restocked some of your other things that you needed. But sometimes timing is of the essence. So they have some extra horses. There are some guards that are going to be coming with, of course, they are getting a full company to ride. So, sorry, my cat feeders are going off. It's a very important
Them
part of
kids.
D&D. So, what are your reactions to hearing this news? I hear what Liam is doing.
Um, what I would do is since I've got my papers, I would put them in my pack, and I said, uh, "Hail!"
Absolutely. There's a stern captain. There are a bunch of various humanoids. There's also a tabaxi on one of the horses as well, in addition to some other elves and dwarves.
I'll say, "Hail! I am a wizard of the Order of the Scribe. Is there something amiss?"
With this, they'll say, we do not know the specifics, but it seems to be some sort of giant attack. So we must go with great haste.
Understood. I will need to document this further. I will. I'll be with you post haste. Am I riding with someone, or do I have to run along?
They'll offer horses to everyone who is coming around. The quartermaster is running around grabbing things, gathering supplies, putting out weapons. They're going to offer out basic round shields and long swords or short swords to anyone who needs them because there are other volunteers that are coming along that are civilians. It is, of course, not just you guys. Assuming that you are well equipped, then you can pass. But if any of you want to take advantage of an old fashioned sword and board combo, it's free right now.
Uh, I just want a shield strapped to my back in case anyone needs it.
You can have a free round shield. So, if you don't know, you should be able to, and we can double check this right now. Do you know how to add an item to your sheet?
I do.
Okay. So you remember you can't be tabbed out to do it. If you have your character tabbed out, the item will not drop from the compendium. If you need me to do it, that is totally fine.
Tabbed out, as in.
if you make your character sheet windowed into a new window. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, it has to be just how it was when you clicked it to open it. If you made it into a
Okay.
separate tab, then it won't accept a compendium drop. I won't tell you how long it took me to figure that out.
Huh.
But the
Okay.
knowledge is yours for free.
All right, that's good to know because I have mine tabbed out, so I have it on a separate screen. Otherwise, it's gonna be.
Yeah, no, and that's totally
Man.
fine. I mean, we can add it at any time. Like you said, you don't feel like it'll be necessary, but it's never bad to establish. Do you know how? Because I'll add a lot of stuff too, but sometimes characters want to just grab stuff, right?
Yeah.
And in that case, I wanted to add some more rations. We went to the shop and everything like that. And I trust you guys to make small edits to your own sheets. Okay, so we have a huge group now, probably of about 40 people. There were only about a dozen armed people with the original company, but now having gathered everyone from Waterdeep as well, they are going to immediately haul it toward the forest for now, but kind of thinking there's not really anything. There are elves within the Ardeep forest, but there's only the human settlement of Nightstone otherwise. So it will not take long to arrive. Yes.
Question. Do they have a horse that'll fit me?
You, seeing you, they'll actually look at you and be like, Because, yeah, how much do you weigh?
I'd probably like I'm like 7'8" or something like that. Like in the 300-pound range, definitely. I could just ride in a wagon if they have
Yeah,
wagons.
that's actually what I was going to say. I'm looking right now, and I'm thinking for
Just don't want
you.
to torture a poor horse.
Well, a regular riding horse can carry 480 pounds.
Okay.
A war horse, though, is what they'll pull out for you and say, this is only a loan.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how heavy you are, but so they
No.
know this will do it.
I'm like sitting stiff and straight back with like my arms crossed on it, like
It's
just
got some
riding.
barding and stuff on it too, though, so I think you could understand.
Yeah.
It's like an armored war horse. All right. So for your part, though, I believe Violet, you were probably doing some of like the scouting. Kind of looking ahead, taking advantage of your sharp senses. So on the way over, I will have all of you go ahead and give me perception checks, but I'm just kind of keeping that in mind. If you do not know how
Most
to do so,
definitely.
absolutely. I mean, I kind of, we've talked about things. I know how you are. You want to know what's going on. Right, nothing's gonna get by those cat claws. All right,
That's a 16 for perception. Yes.
Okay. Liam, you're probably thinking about the barding. You're like, man, this is really weird. I don't know. Like, I don't even wear armor. Why does my horse have armor?
Yeah.
Very distracting.
I'd probably be looking ahead since they said giants.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely. So I'm gonna get perceptions from everybody, but I'm just kind of keeping in mind. And then for you, Lopenea, is there anything that's on your mind right now? You just kind of getting dragged along with the action for the moment.
My ears perked up when I heard giants, and I was thinking, giants. I've never seen a giant before. I don't go see a giant, so I jumped in the bandwagon with them and headed off with them.
You're like, well, I see a giant.
Exactly.
um, okay, so got that. Okay, so from looking ahead, as you guys start to approach, but you'll be able to see. Yes. Okay. Good. All right. So, with that, Sentry, or sorry, Violet, is the yes, the Violet, Morel, Pena. It's because the name setup is inconsistent. My brain just died. You guys will be able to see as you start to approach what look like some weird-looking boulders outside of the town. And Sentry and Lopenea, you feel like it was a little bit of a might have been in your mind, but up toward the north in the forest, it almost seemed like there was like a rustling of trees and a disturbance of some kind. But you're not able to really tell anything beyond that from this distance.
I just want to tell the rest of my company to keep their eyes out on that area.
Absolutely. So, yeah, any of you can look and see with that, but I was going to say that for the most part, that's kind of it. Now, the boulders are kind of weird. They almost look like as you get closer, I'll give you more of a description of them. So you're kind of riding along. I'm not going to make you make animal handling checks. These are trained. You're going in together as a group. And so this is a small village that is surrounded by a river moat. Um, as you can approach, you'll be able to see that the keep, which has partially collapsed. There's definitely been a major attack, and the wooden bridge that connects the bridge to the keep seems to have collapsed as well. But the drawbridge does seem to be down right now. And at this point, I will move you to a different map. As like I said, I'm trying to get used to this because I have 8 million maps in here, so and at least one of them works.
At least one.
Mm. Can you see anything right now?
Dark screen at the moment.
Dark.
Okay,
Let me
that's
zoom
totally
out.
fine. No, it's probably because of how this is, so that's fine. Let me.
Okay, now I see.
I'm dragging you guys onto here.
Yep.
All right. So now can everyone see?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, partially.
Partially?
I was
Well,
zoomed in way too far. There we go. Gotcha.
Okay, so like I said, the drawbridge is down, which is quite handy.
Indeed.
Where'd
It
the,
said it's about
40
20
guys
feet
go?
long, 10 feet wide. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. Where'd the party we were with go?
Oh, well, if you want me to drag on about 30 tokens, I definitely can. But since they can't see and I can, I figured, for the moment. But yeah, but I definitely get where you're coming from. And for me, though, they are not as helpful as some, but they're definitely better than nothing. So don't worry, if you're getting into combat, you're gonna have them.
Good to go.
And just just to FYI from the beginning, kind of like with most mages, it's get up in the morning, eat breakfast, mage armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I use my chamber pot after I put on my mage armor. So you never know.
Backsplash. It's real.
I don't know if it helps with that, but but you've got the spirit. And so as I'm working on dragging out some of these, how do you want to approach?
I would lead the way, but I would leave it to other people to look for any oncoming attacks because I is not perceptive.
You're like
supposed to be-
eye is dexterous.
I'll
Yeah.
jump down, follow
Yeah, I would
behind Liam.
definitely hold up the back end myself. Like you'll see me trot along, and we're I guess getting off the horses at this point.
It's up to you. I'm not
Uh,
saying that you are.
Okay. Should
So I
we-
had the idea of sending my horse across to test the bridge.
Oh,
He
okay, great.
separates himself and sends animal.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to draw.
It's okay. Do you have animal handling, Violet?
No.
That's fine. Go ahead and give me an animal handling check anyway. It's not exactly a hard DC. These are trained horses.
Not 20.
Perfect. Yeah. Just like it's supposed to do. You are able to send it kind of trotting cautiously along to here. It goes out and then seems to kind of stop right inside. Not because anything's happened to it, but it just is kind of like just spooked a little bit looking around.
Yeah, I'm going. If it's going, I'll follow across.
Sure. Yeah, nothing seems to have happened. So if you would like to drag yourselves on over, you can. If you'd like me to move you, just let me know.
Just tell me whenever I get
That's
attacked.
fine. No, absolutely. So you are making it fine. Nothing is happening right now.
Okay. I'm
And like I said,
crossing the
just
bridge.
assume that everyone is coming in with you.
Yeah.
The captain of the band of guards that was leading Violet, as well as everyone else that they have recruited.
Feel
do you
free
need me to move you,
erase
Lopenea?
that line. Sorry for drawing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in.
You can get rid of it yourself too if
and
you want, but
I'm calling
think it's-
out like, "Hey, is anyone still here? Is everyone all right? Hello?"
Yeah, actually, let's see. Do that. So far, it's as silent as a tomb in here. As I was saying, these boulders look a little bit weird now that you're closer into them.
I'm gonna go check out the boulder.
As am I.
I slap one. I'm like, "This is a good rock."
Absolutely. Liam, make an intelligence check. As everyone else does, either perceptions or investigations, depending on how they want to interact with the boulders. Yes, Josh. Okay. Looks like you were raising
Sorry,
your
I
hand.
just my hand. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it looked like you were raising your hand like we were in class, and I was like, yes. Okay, fantastic. You know what, Liam? That is a big rock. Pretty big. Doesn't remind you of anything. No bells, head empty.
Alvina Faye is not far.
Moral, I think you're just so excited by. You can definitely tell that this is a giant boulder, but just your thoughts are racing.
I do have one question.
What's that?
Does this have anything to do with metal or metallurgy? Because I realized from having blacksmithing background, blacksmithing as a proficiency, it says that I'm able to glean a little bit more about metals and things of that nature.
I give it to you if it were a chunk of metal for sure, but this is kind of a rock.
Just rock, nothing else special.
Well, there is something
metal-wise.
special about it, but it's not something that's metal. But I understand, and I will keep that in mind. So thank you for bringing that to my attention.
think-
Yeah, Violet. It seems like they're kind of. It's got this weird. It almost looks like they're covered in like cloud material. Even though that would seem weird, it's like this like white weird. It's almost like let me see what you might know about it. You can give me a history check. But yeah, you can definitely tell that this is a type of giant boulder that you've never encountered before.
So history, not nature. Just checking
Actually,
because of my proficiencies.
you know, I'll give it to you on the nature. Actually, it's not a problem for this. I kind of want you to know. I'll be honest.
I'm gonna actually ask everybody's like, it's gonna take me a little extra time, but I would like to see if there's any magic in the area. It requires me 10 minutes. Is anyone opposed?
The guard captain will say, if you can tell that there's magic, then do it.
Understood. And
Yes. Are you still talking?
yeah, I'm gonna move to right about here to get as much coverage as possible.
Okay.
Of like the boulders we can see,
Absolutely.
and I'll go ahead and start the ritual for detect magic.
He's gonna pop a guard on either side of you, right here, and just say, "Keep him alive." All right, Liam.
I'd like to start exploring like the buildings and looking for survivors.
Absolutely. Is anybody gonna join, or? are you-
I will, since I'm
Right,
more
so
perceptive
you
than he
and-
is.
Okay, no problem.
I'll like gesture to Morel and be like, "You're all right out here, mate?"
I have two very strong, bustly guards around me. I think I'll be fine. And
They don't look too strong to me, but all right.
One of them will shirt you a dirty look.
yeah, he says in
bro.
between chanting and like hand waving and moving his arcane focus around.
Mhm.
I'll do like hand signals to Lopenea
Just imagine you just like
and
absolutely. So you begin kind of your sweep of the area.
yeah. I'm gonna
Alright.
go into this building first, I think.
And what about you, Violet?
I think I'm just gonna scout out the areas outside,
Of the
and look
buildings.
around for any other signs that I might see of other damage or
Absolutely.
anything hanging around.
So what I will try to do is basically cover about 10 minutes of searching, and then come back to his detect magic ritual. Trying to see the feel of it. All right, so I'll start with Liam and Lopenea. Searching through the buildings, you said you're starting with building number 5?
If that's what the
Sorry, building. No, I apologize. You said this building right here
Is me.
is you. This actually, when you look at it, it's a temple.
Okay.
So, and there's nobody in the temple, but you can see if you look inside that somebody seems to have torn the bell down.
And just for flavor, Liam would like stop and give
Mhm.
a
You have religion, right?
We're going in, and then go into and upon seeing like any desecration, he'd start getting annoyed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because do you have religion, Liam?
Let me check. He's just he grew up in a.
Absolutely. I was just curious.
Yeah.
If either one of you have religion, you could make a check to see if you know what kind of temple it is.
He's not
That's fine.
educated. He's good. He's good at
He's
the
real swift.
physical part of.
He does the strong.
Yeah. Fisticuffs. Yeah.
He'll scrap with you. But yeah, like I said, Violet, you afraid with that nature check, you won't be able to know more, but you just know that it's like an unusual giant type that you haven't encountered.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
figured.
I mean, you're not like, wow, is this really a rock? So what about you, Lopenea? Are you doing anything seeing that, or?
Seeing the bell ripped off, I kind of comment of, I wonder if this was, done on purpose or just accidental, because it seems a little more
Is the
forcefully
bell
done.
The-
in the building or is it gone?
No, the bell's ripped down. It's on the ground. Some of the pews have been overturned. It seems that somebody really has ransacked this building.
Calling out again. Hello, hello.
It's like wanton destruction. Nothing so far.
Okay.
And then, although,
my
let's see where you are.
priority
You
is
started
to find
calling out, hello,
survivors.
hello.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And then, so you're sweeping around, and then are you gonna go this way or
Yeah.
this way?
I'll make a ring going to this one next.
Okay.
Well, follow behind.
And then I'll assume then, for that reason, that Violet, you're gonna begin scouting in the opposite direction.
Yes, sir.
Kind of a more concise kind of situation here. Okay. So you're calling out looking for survivors. Hello, hello. You will actually hear a woman's voice. It said, oh my god, it's so terrible. Please come help and see.
Yeah, Liam will definitely rush up and be like, "You all right?"
Right. Okay, so let me see if I can find a picture to show you.
Like, also prepared for any sort of ambush, like,
Absolutely. I mean, you never know, right? For your part, you're just like, well, let's see. Maybe.
Definitely.
It's a human woman who seems to be disheveled and bloody. And actually looking. What are you doing? Because she's kind of in the doorway right now. I'm looking to see if I have a handout. If not, I'll show you with my physical book. But she's very distraught, very covered in blood, and it's just like, oh, thank God someone's here.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here to help.
Knowing that, like, Liam's pretty intimidating to folk, he would, like, take a knee, put his hands out, and be like, "Hey, we're here to help. We're from Waterdeep."
Okay, absolutely. So she's just like, oh, it's so horrible. Okay, so while this is happening, Lopenea, you can see behind her what looks like a massacre. You're not sure from here what happened, but it looks like several bodies. And you can see from this angle what looks like the gleaming boot, a gleaming armor boot kind of laying on the floor.
Yeah, I would approach and maybe give an insight check to see how, like, if she's
Says it's
all
her.
right.
Go ahead and give me insight checks.
Inside.
It's like insight is the one social skill he's actually decent at.
Okay, cool. Let me do her roll and see how we're going over here. Those are pretty good checks. I like it. And I was trying to see if I could find a picture. I have one, but I'm just worried it'll show you more information about her. So I'll show you in a minute. I'll say it's a blonde human woman. And she's... You think she's being honest?
All right. I'll say we've got some more men from Waterdeep outside. Come, we'll get you to safety.
She's like, oh, thank God. She'll like kind of start to like wander away with you. And like I said, if you look behind, um, you can choose to go in further. It seems that things were pretty
Yeah, I
messy
would
inside.
mostly like usher her out and then go in to see if there's like people maybe unconscious or hurt or something.
Give me investigations and perceptions. At least one person was crushed as a boulder came flying through the thatched roof into the dining area.
And investigation and what?
Either an investigation or a perception. I will defer to your better skills.
I'll do. Okay, not intimidation. That won't help.
You investigate the room. What happened? Um, 16's pretty good.
18.
18's even better.
Yeah.
There seems to have been a party of human adventurers, and you can actually see sticking out of them, Liam. It looks like a couple of weird, like, needles. It almost look like tubes.
I would look at the. I'll take them out and look.
Never
Do
seen
I
anything
recognize
like
the
it.
weapon? Like who might use it?
It's very unusual. You would suspect that it's some evil craftiness. You can tell for sure that one of them seemed to have been wearing some sort of gleaming regalia, but it's now soiled with mud. And you can see leading out of it looks like the tracks of a large dog of some kind seems to have run away. So,
Yeah, I
those,
guess.
even though it's hard to tell at first through all the blood with that, one of them was definitely stabbed in surprise. It looks like one of them got a knife directly into the back, into the heart.
Owie.
I mentioned this to
Lopenea.
Sorry.
Lopenea.
Lopenea, sorry.
I'm
and
working
I'll
on them
say,
all.
Looks like not just an attack from above, but there was a fight here.
Right. So
and
now,
he seems to be the only survivor.
exactly. So as you guys are investigating, I'll come back over here to Violet. So as you're looking around, again, you can see boulders are all around. They're huge. Thinking about a boulder that's large enough to where it would fill up a 5-foot square on this map is actually quite substantial. Can see that they've landed in buildings, crushing them. So far, you will hear the human woman hysterically crying, but talking to 2 of the other people that volunteered. So assuming that you're going to keep sweeping, it looks like somebody let all of the horses out of the stables. None of the livestock are in the pens. And there are some dead bodies, but all of the dead bodies, for the most part, look like they've been crushed by boulders.
Can I inspect the bodies further, or like that's all I'm gonna see is they've been crushed?
I mean, you can look, but a lot of what you can see are kind of like body parts that are sticking out from under them.
Okay.
So it's fairly, straightforward that you can tell, at least for the most part, what happened. If you find any bodies that aren't crushed by boulders, I'll definitely let you know. And if you keep circling long enough, you're going to make it around to where they are, which it was at the inn. And that is a scene that you will want to investigate.
Yeah, I will keep making my way around.
Absolutely. So in the meantime, Morel, your detect magic ritual has finished as they are kind of going through, combing things. And don't worry, I'm not going to forget about you, Liam and Lopenea. So you are kind of looking for magic.
And I'll put it up in the chat real quick.
Absolutely. But working with your sheets going well so far.
Seems to be. Can everybody read that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Up to 10 minutes.
So Yeah, 10 minutes, and it's within 30 feet of me. I detect what school of magic it is, whether an object bears magic or an area that bears magic. Um, and it can penetrate most barriers as long as it's not a foot of stone, an inch of metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Okay. So let's see. I think you guys are leading. She ushered her over here. Just some help. The bloody human woman does not seem to be glowing in any way. And nothing within your immediate 30-foot vicinity is. What I'm gonna do is pop an aura onto your thing so I can see what this is. Right? Is that the size?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 30 foot centered on me.
So as you move around, that should
30
come with
feet
your
of me.
token.
Yeah, and the after it's cast, I said, "All right, time to start searching," and I'm actually going to go into every single area that's touched by the stones. Go near the what seems to
Right.
be a hole.
Yeah, in the middle. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
I'm gonna start moving around. It also, and just for let's see, use your action. Yeah, you see a faint aura around any visible creatures or object in the area. So if a creature in and of itself is magical or inherently magical, I will see an aura around them.
Yeah, does it say the other thing I guess I could mention too is that you guys can see there was definitely some sort of skirmishing around as you're taking more time here. What initially looked like it was just the boulders is now giving way to you're looking at like kind of all the footprints that are around, and this is to the group in general, based on the kind of tracks that are there, the chaos that you can see. You're starting to ascertain that there must have been more than just the boulders, and none of them seem to have been slain by giant weapons that you can tell. Because those, a little bit easier to tell sometimes.
A little
Um,
bigger.
yes, so they go with you as you move around with their usual charm, and kind of silently will follow you as you inspect. So when you reach, okay, yeah, wherever you want
Sorry,
to go, they're gonna follow you around.
yeah. So I would head up to this area. The graveyard usually
Absolutely.
has some sort of faint something. So that's his first thought is, okay, graveyard, and then I'll start moving around. And then as I get closer to the hole, that's whenever I'm like, of course, noticing a gigantic hole in the ground. I'm
Sure.
gonna start moving towards it.
So from the cemetery, you only get an energy of consecration, which is what you would extremely expect.
Hope.
What is it? Or hope, yes. You're like, oh, good. This isn't as bad as it could be. So all
Can
of
I
you,
inspect the like footprints along the ground, like if we're seeing more than just what giant
absolutely.
tracks would be?
Yes, for sure. Actually, none of you see any giant tracks at all. So absolutely, you can inspect them.
WTF.
Yes.
And
Way to think it out.
I am now at the hole looking in.
Hmm. Yes. So as soon as you entered that, you would get a magic aura, and I'm gonna come over to you to let you know what skill I want you to do here. There's definitely a lingering effect, even though you don't see anything magical there. Um, for you, Violet, just give me an investigation. And yeah, so are you guys, and then for you too, are you still kind of picking through stuff and seeing what happened, trying to investigate, or what are you gonna do?
I was gonna investigate some of the bodies a little bit more.
For sure. And I'll assume that that's what's happening as this is
I'll,
passing. Then.
I'll keep him company. But I'm starting to think like there's something going on. There's something fishy going on.
All right. So even with that, you can definitely tell that there are both small and medium tracks. So you won't be able to necessarily tell too much detail, but you can definitely see that the majority of the tracks are of a medium humanoid variety. So, but like I said, you do see what look like some leading in and out as well, and also just like some pretty big, heavy boots. But they seem to be more like orcs or something, maybe.
Ooh.
It's weird that you don't see any giant prints. And yes, coming back to you, Morel.
Just a quick question. When you say the magic aura, do I know what school it's from, based on what I'm looking at?
It's actually hard to say. Even though you usually would be able to tell with that spell, what you're able to gather is that in this hole there was something large and magical. Um, I think that if anything, it would be a faint aura of a kind of conjuration magic, but it's not
Oh.
something that you're getting a very strong sense from.
Yeah, I would make note of that, and actually, I would say, um, I would just let the captain know. This is like there's a from at least this hole, not anywhere else, but from this hole, there's something of conjuration that was used here.
He says, "Well, yes. What in the nine hells happened to the Nightstone?"
Oh. Did
He
you happen
says-
to know what the Nightstone is? I've not heard of it. I've been.
That's fine. He says, "Well, it was the large chunk of obsidian that used to fill that hole."
And it is now gone. Understood.
So, yeah, and like I said, eventually, Violet, you do make it around to the slaughter that Lopenea is investigating, and Liam is just kind of sitting here.
Yeah, if
Considering
Lopenea was gonna look
things.
again, I would give him advantage or help. Give him a help out action.
Yeah, I'll say that you're helping, so you can do an investigator perceiving with it with advantage if you want to Lopenea for you further looking through.
I'll do.
They seem to have.
investigation.
Sorry, my cat is in a
No
mood.
worries. And actually, I say, and saw the lady is. Is there something amiss? I'm asking Liam.
Yeah, so let's say you guys are interacting with each other at this stage.
I would show Morel the would they be considered darts?
They kind of look like weird freaky darts, like tube
Yeah, I would
darts.
show Morel the dart. I'd say this isn't anything I've seen before. And
Let me
I'd
see it.
point to the woman and say, we need to find out from her what happened.
All right, understood. While my magic is up, I have it for the next
And you have
next
advantage,
9 minutes.
Will.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have it for the next 9 minutes or so. Was there any?
So I'm gonna
anybody who was
let you
ready
know.
for battle or anything like that around the area?
Sorry, can you say again?
Sorry, I was asking in character for Liam.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Is there any anybody that seemed to have been in battle or anything like that around the area?
Gesturing to all the dead bodies. I'd say,
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like whenever we walked in here, dead bodies were only in like those areas, right?
did
Right.
Violet find any other bodies? Since Violet.
Yes, they said there were some that were mainly like crushed by boulders and all of that, but with the checks that she was getting, she's not getting too much more than that.
I would turn over the body with like the stab wound and say, this definitely didn't happen from a rock.
Very true. These bodies are not below the boulder that definitely fell and
Yeah.
crushed the unfortunate diner.
So I think we need to ask her what happened, or like if like who attacked outside of whoever threw these boulders and took the Nightstone, or maybe it's all the same all the same group.
Can I investigate the weird dart and the bodies? with it?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely take a look at these. They're definitely unusual.
What check would you like? Investigation?
Yeah, I'll say an investigation is fine because you're kind of physically like inspecting these.
And I'm keeping
I'm
an
the
eye
worst ever.
on the
That's fine. You got to get them out of your system. You know, you're very distracted. You're like, wow, this is. I've been so ready to investigate excitement, and here it finally is. Dang it! All right. But even with that, though, none of you have ever seen a weapon like this. It certainly is some sort of improvised or created thing.
Lopenea, did you take your second roll?
I did not. I didn't know I still should or not.
Yeah, absolutely, you should.
I gave you
Okay.
the.
I haven't given you any answers.
Okay. Yeah, even better.
Cool. They are murdered.
Indeed, they are.
Somebody sure did murder these guys. And it looks like, you know, see if it was the highest thing I've gotten here is a 7. They all did a big die.
Yeah.
And some of them did it the stabby way. And they all seemed to have been humans beforehand. It seems, like I said, to have been an unfortunate party of adventurers who met their demise in Nightstone.
And just to make sure, like after he said that, I was like, I'm gonna continue searching, and I kept looking around, just to give an idea. That's the reason why I'm like kind of moving my character slowly around the map.
Sure, absolutely. So when you're going around, there will be a little bit of other stuff. Sorry, I've got like so many pages going.
No worries.
And so who's doing what with the human? So you're kind of still wandering around doing that, and that's fine. Everybody else, you seem to be kind of trying to.
On our female.
Your friend there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so for your part, you will get magic auras.
I would love to see what's up with Bloody Mary also.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll say that you guys definitely will go check it out. In one of the homes, as you're going around, you are going to find in this building. You do get a sense of magic from inside it with your detect magic.
From this one, the one that
I don't know if you can see where I'm pinging. It's this building.
So I don't know for anybody else, but all the buildings just look like large black towers to me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's because of how it is and because of how it casts light. So let me actually try to adjust the setting really quickly. Because in my mind, you're already here. You can see.
there. Does there seem to be any opening anywhere on this particular building?
Try to see if that got worse or better.
Oh,
That got worse.
Uh,
Worse. Repeat your question as I am trying to.
Understood. I am in all. Ah,
So some things you will have to explore and uncover. That's totally fine. But for this particular map, it's not an issue to just show it to you.
okay. So there seems to be something. All right. I'm gonna see if I can make it into this place. Is there a door or something else?
Yeah, actually. So this is it easily done, right? So they have. You can tell that this actually seems to have been like a barn and hayloft. The doors were open. Like I said, all of the animals were let free, and you're getting kind of a glow of magic, some sort of almost seems like divine kind of things versus other schools of magic
Oh.
coming from up in the hayloft.
Then I'm going to definitely get up in the hayloft.
All right. So yeah, the guards aren't going to climb up after you, but they'll stand grumpily on the ground. All right. So the other 3 of you are going to go talk to the woman. Is that correct?
yes.
I think so. Yeah.
She
Stop.
says, yeah, she says, oh, it was just so horrible. Insight from you, Violet, since you're the only one who hasn't done one for so far. It'll be easy enough for you, Morel, to find what looks like there was like a little box. You're pretty sure she's completely sincere. There was like a little box up there, hidden, and it seems to be some sort of wand. You're muted right now, I think.
I inspect it.
Sure.
Before reading it.
Yeah, if you've got your stuff on, I'll give it to you. During your whole thing, you'll be able to figure out. This seems to be a wand of healing. And it seems to have some charges on it, and I'll give it to you. Let me see. So, yeah, I said you're convinced, all three of you, at this point, that she must be genuine. You can, like I said, do more because, like I said, in the meta context, it is hard to not notice, right, that you have those insight checks, and so,
Yeah.
I would
there
like
is
to
that.
see if she has any wounds on her if she was in this building.
Okay, great. Give me. Well, how are you gonna do it? Are you just trying to physically eye her over without actually touching her?
I'll get close if she'll let me and put an arm around her and just be like, I'm so glad you made it. Like, it must have been a really terrible sight in there. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. As I'm kind of like checking her over.
Do a little bit of a deception here, because like I get where you're coming from. You're trying to pull it off as something else. Definitely.
Hey,
We're gonna make it a staff of healing, Josh, because that item is there and not a wand.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she seems to be completely relieved as you're doing the whatever, and not a well. Actually, when you look, all you see is. Give me another. I'm gonna give you advantage on this perception, because you fooled her. You're looking her over. You don't see anything, man. It's you're sure though with all that blood, you must just be missing it.
So with advantage, did I have to do a different drop?
Yeah.
Or do
No,
you
sorry.
roll
Did
twice?
you not know? Did you guys not be able to toggle or to query for the advantage?
I didn't
So-
realize that advantage was a drop
I
down.
apologize.
Sorry.
Yeah,
do you want me
so-
to
no,
just
no,
roll a
it's totally
second die?
Yeah. For now, just go ahead and make a second check because it'll take your higher of the two. Yeah. So again, you're not sure if it's from the blood, but you're not finding really any wounds on her at all.
And I'll say after I'm gonna grab
Staff.
the staff, and once I get it, would I find it strange that a staff of healing would be inside a hayloft?
I mean, you know that people who have magic stuff, if they don't use it all the time, will sometimes kind of stash them for emergencies and such.
Okay.
This clearly was an emergency, but maybe not the right kind. Yes, Liam?
do I see a knife on her?
Do your own checks here to see.
Let's see what happens.
You're just
And I
physically
get-
inspecting.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
And
see
yes,
if
Josh.
there's anything.
And I guess after like looking around the whole area, that's the only thing that I noticed with my magic sight, essentially.
Kella is inspection proof. Yep, that is all you notice. But
I'm
that
gonna
is
come
something.
back to the lady, and it's like, "Hello, miss. Hello, miss. What is your name?"
She says, my name is Kella. Thank
Uh,
God. Thank heavens you're here.
I'm going to say like she's covered in blood and no visible scratches on her.
I mean, you give me your own perception.
Or insight or perception.
Well, the insight to see if she feels genuine, the perception to see what you notice physically. So both,
Gotcha.
because it's your first
Understood.
interaction with her.
Gotcha.
Can I, in character, be like, wow, you got away pretty clean. Can you tell me how you did
Absolutely.
that?
Yeah, you're just like, that's amazing, because at this point, you're pretty sure
Like,
she might
based
be
on
part
how
of the
dead
vaccine. She
those
must have
guys
nine
are.
lives.
Like,
That's a 20 on that perception.
Not a scratch on her. And you do think, like she's wearing robes or whatever, so you're not sure, but she could definitely be concealing a weapon under there.
Okay. And now, and madam, you
What about that
you-
insight?
Oh yeah, the insight. My lowest one, Lamau.
Let's find out. You can't
Yeah.
get lower than a 1, right?
Oh.
Not bad, but yeah, but she seems pretty genuine, even though it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. I'm actually like, even though like I'm like she seems genuine, I'm still wary. Is that a thing that I'm allowed to feel on this? Or
I
no?
mean, I'd say with a middle of the road check, you didn't crit fail it like poor Violet. So sure, you can have a little bit of a middle ground, but you're not picking up on any dishonesty. And I'll say none of you really are, right?
Yeah.
I'm
But
just gonna ask
doesn't
the
mean you can't
captain.
think.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually ask the captain. I'm gonna pull him to the side, and try to like gesture like I need to speak with you just quietly for a second, there, Captain.
Says, sure. Seems confused. He's got his. What?
So the the two gentlemen, Liam and actually it's Lopenea, girl. Just a question.
Yes,
Okay, so
Lopenea be a lady.
the large man, Liam, and the lady Lopenea, found this woman amongst a whole bunch of dead bodies, and she has not a scratch on her. What would you make of that?
Says, well, she could have woken up in the middle of it, but that seems unlikely.
Yeah, and there was one stab wound on one of the other.
Yeah, because you guys shared all of that information.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, there was one stab wound on the one person I was shown directly in the back, going straight to the heart.
Okay. So it says,
Just looking for your insight.
this is Captain Southwell, and
Okay.
Captain Southwell is thinking and looking around at the situation. So he'll come over to the group of you and kind of pull you aside, leaving some guards with her. Your two personality friends from before will hang out as you chat. And he says, there's no sign of anyone anywhere in this village except for the murdered people. So we can't let her go, regardless of what her story may be. And we need to figure out several things. I've already arranged to send a group of rangers and scouts into the forest to search based on what you said you spotted on the way over. And I'm now trying to come up with my best course of action to lead off this situation.
That is all I asked for, Captain. And from what I got, the only thing magical in this area was this healing staff, and actually, I'll pull it out, that someone kept, I guess, for emergencies.
Yes. Oh, that is a very nice item indeed. I wonder if it is a family heirloom of some kind.
I don't know if any of them are alive, but I would love to give this back to them.
Yeah, because actually, yeah. He says, well, we shall certainly see. If you'd like to leave it with me for the case of that, he said, I am currently commanding the search parties that are going, and also I do need to send word to some of the different settlements to let them know what has happened. My brother Markham is the sheriff in Bryn Shander, and he'll certainly want to know.
Then I will leave this in your care. Thank you very much. I am rather
And then I want to
perplexed
see
as
if
to what happened.
and I want to see what everyone else has to say to him, for sure. So that's for your Morel. He's gonna kind of looking at the rest of you. He was working with you before. What are your take on this? What's your take, Violet? Traveled together for a little while.
All I know is this wasn't giants.
Kind of look over at you. Yeah, he says, indeed.
There's needles in the bodies, stab wounds, they may have had to use a catapult to throw these to make it look like giants, but there's no footprints, there's no weapon damage
What about the
that's
tower?
consistent.
Yes, I wonder. And for you, he kind of will peer up at you, Liam. What do you think?
I don't know, Captain. What about the like? And I'll gesture over to the big raised tower building on its own little
Sure,
island
the
thing.
keep.
The keep. Maybe they hid over there.
As well. I guess you've got just more than muscles to you, son. And what did you investigate? You seem to know more about the subtle crafts. Looking at you, Lopenea.
I think somebody was betrayed over there, stabbed in the back. Still a little
There's
down
no
on
way
the
to go.
giants.
Yes. So, yeah. With that, then, he says that that's a fine idea, for you, Liam, to check out the keep. You absolutely will want to do that. But for your part, he'll look at you all and just say, "I know that I kind of have randomly gathered up here. I'm going to be making different teams of people to send throughout to some of the different towns to give them word. I need to get things to Golden Fields, Tribor, and Bryn Shander, as well as word to the Lord's Alliance. So whatever help you think that you may be able to give, we will gladly accept, and of course, the crown may reward you, and we will certainly let you at the very least keep whatever goods you may find along the way."
And also about the, I'm guessing someone will be sent here to take care of the bodies.
He says, "Yes, of course. This is a
as
travesty."
as much as broken pieces can be dignified, they should be at least set with a little bit of dignity and respect here, at least.
Liam still like is worried for the survivors. Definitely wants to look in the tower, or like maybe assist Violet in finding the tracks of maybe where they could have gone.
Say the original look around for the tracks wasn't super successful. So at this point, I'd say that your best recourse would be to inspect the keep.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's already, as you guys are listening, like I said, you can hear the sound of the horses racing off toward the woods, to go find out more details.
Yeah.
As you're doing this, you'll Captain kind of will walk back over, and you'll hear her protest as he claps her in irons. And he says, "Just a precaution. You understand." She says, "No, I don't."
Don't hurt my friend. She totally trusts me, and I love her.
Yeah, he's like, "You cat people, so weird." Anyway, so yes, so he said, going around and looking. Definitely understand some of your curiosity, and I realize that I have this over here. Zoom out. Okay.
My master Pavilion will definitely need to hear more word of this.
Yes, and so if you guys know, the circle with the comb-looking thing in it on the sidebar is your measuring tool. It's on the left, kind of like in the middle, and you can use it to measure a distance on the map. So if you want to see how big is this gap, but make sure afterward you pick your select thing again. I can't tell you how many times I haven't been able to get something to work because I have my measurement tool selected.
It looks to be 15 feet.
Right.
And how does jumping work?
Now that one is kind of one of those things where it's often based on your strength stats, and kind of depending on who you ask. And I've seen this, if you haven't thought on this, Josh, too. It's like something that you can calculate, kind of like your carry weight. I would say either based on your strength or your dex, personally, because some of you guys go based on acrobatics and some of you go based off of athletics. But I can't remember exactly what it is that you multiply to get it. So if you know, it's fine. If not, I'll pull up my DMG right here and just do a little quick inspect.
Your long jump.
Yeah, that's what this is gonna be, because you have to run. It gives an advantage, like gives you some extra on it.
Yeah, it does give you
run.
extra because there's a feat that gives you to where you only need 5 feet.
Yeah, I remember that, instead of 10.
Instead of 10, and you get more on your long jump. But yeah, you're right. I don't know the exact specifics, but it is better if
totally
you
fine.
run and then
Pulling it
jump.
up on Roll20, it says when you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump.
So up to your strength score?
Yeah,
I will say, or your dex score,
or dex.
because I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
So-
and
People who do acrobatics-based jumping should not be penalized.
Yeah,
yeah,
if
and the only thing I'll add to the mix is as we're looking at this gap, I said just to let everyone know, I do have a spell known as Featherfall. It makes you lighter on your feet, helps you float down, so that you are not harmed in any way, shape, or form.
Liam would like eyeball it and say, I think I can make that. Give me a
Yeah, and there's
piece
some
of the
water
leg."
below too, so it's not like it's like above a pit of spikes or anything.
Violet would like to just take out her claws and be like, "I'll catch myself on the wall." Thank you.
All right, so I will say. So you said it's equivalent to your score, correct, Lucas?
Yeah, I can link it if you
With a
like.
15, I believe almost all of you, have a dex for strength that's above that. Let me look at Lopenea here
I do
and
not.
Morel.
13 and 14.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Lopenea's got a 14.
And I don't know if it would be
don't look at
available,
me.
but if
He's
there
like,
are
"Don't
any
look at me."
pieces of wood that like could
Don't look at me.
span the reach, I could like maybe lift it and put it.
I mean, I'll allow you if you want. Some of the buildings have definitely been destroyed. It wouldn't be too hard. I would say for you guys, I would let you make a check to do the jump. An athletics or an acrobatics if you wanted.
Just depends. I just want to make it easier for everyone.
Yeah, but it doesn't say, but if it seems like they're not going to make it, yeah, you definitely wouldn't have a hard time scavenging some stuff. I mean, half the buildings had giant boulders.
Violet gets down on all fours and wiggles her butt a little bit and runs as fast as she can to jump it.
Wonderful. You land. There we
and
go.
I fall. No, I'm just
It's not as graceful as she was probably hoping, but she does land, and you'll use your claws as you predicted, but this time to keep your ass from falling into the water. That's fine. Seeing if you had a graceful landing or not. All right, what about
yeah,
you guys?
she's got
What do you
that
want to do?
climbing speed with her claws, so she'll make
Absolutely.
it up.
Yeah, I'm just hefting a big log. Just
Yeah, so as you guys are considering, man, I should do some yoga or something, maybe to get more. Oh, wait. Yeah, as he comes over, yeah, your ability to carry with your strength is pretty good.
drang.
I'm pretty sure he might just pick me up and throw me across.
Yeah, right. High or low, Lucas?
Hi.
Okay. You find stuff. You find a beam, but it doesn't seem to be quite as wide as you were looking for. So you think it will help them, but it's still not going to be like you were kind of hoping for like a big wide plank. But you do find something to at least assist.
All right.
Now, but you already have somebody on the other side. Violet is over there. I'm assuming self-satisfied and, doing a little composure groom.
Oh yeah, come on, chickens!
Do
I study books. I don't jump well.
So hopefully the plank I found might be able to give people advantage on crossing or something, but
Morel, give me a basic intelligence check. You're pretty good at those, sometimes.
Sure, why not?
We'll see if this is the day. Like, today is the day.
Yeah, it's the day.
So, you're pretty sure, right, that it's probably not going to be the best for you, but, like, this big fella here, and she's over there, if they were to have maybe, like, a rope that they held between them over it, you guys could maybe use the rope and the beam.
okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Like,
Yeah, and actually, so he'll tie it around one side, and then have the big man throw the rope over to the other side,
Yeah,
and then it'll be
she's
a
over
time,
there to
like
assist you.
a little hold.
Right, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is basically a rope for your hands and a beam for your feet. That way,
Yes.
it will give you an assistance. And with that, don't roll ones.
I promise I will.
Okay.
I've been known as depth finder in other games.
Well, luckily it's just a moat, so no hungry gators in it or anything. So
Delicious.
I'll let you choose if you want to do acrobatics or athletics, and same for you, Lopenea. And by the way, Will, are you good? Are you just kind of looking at the stream stuff, or?
No, I'm good. I've been listening to you guys and everything, and checking
Okay.
to make sure we got everything going good on the stream side.
Absolutely, I just wanted to check on you and see if you were still in.
My character had an idea. She's gonna walk over to the little plank that he put down. I'm gonna bust out my quarterstaff with a little like counterbalance to try to walk across it.
Okay, yeah, sure. There is, like I said, a rope spanning it as well at this stage if you'd like to use it. But if you want to ignore that, you can.
Well, I figured she's not over there yet. Looks like she's still here.
No, that's why you weren't hearing. That's why I was concerned that you weren't hearing everything that was happening, Will.
Okay.
Violet is already on the other side of the bridge.
Right.
That is why this entire thing is the way that it is. So she is already over there.
Ready for my acrobatics roll?
Give me your and right now the anxious seeming scribe is clutching the rope and making an acrobatics check.
Not too bad.
It's not pretty, but you think that's all on his head. He gets across just fine.
It
I
is.
pokes him as he's walking across. Keep your eyes on me.
Perfect.
It's okay, human.
You're
And then I was
you're
like-
doing that, but she does have those sharp claws, so it's a little.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm just like, understood.
Okay. What about you, Lopenea? How are you gonna try to cross?
Same way I mentioned it. It was acrobatics
Okay,
check, I guess.
just making sure. So go ahead and give me your check. She said you're ignoring the rope, right?
Yeah.
Okay, make a reflex save.
Reflex save. Where's?
Or sorry, a dexterity save. I've been playing a lot of Pathfinder.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I immediately was like, oh, what's up,
Yeah,
Pathfinder?
sorry. Yeah, Pathfinder. Yeah, I have a Pathfinder cleric that's level.
Ooh,
Oh
Pathfinder.
yeah. So it's actually kind of weird. It's like you start to do like this, like that, and then you feel like you would have fallen for sure. But it's almost like, and you'll see this. He like spins around in place, or she spins around in place, and it's just like, oh, maintaining balance, and we'll be able to across. So now we've got the last people are Liam and the captain. Now the captain is yelling at his men to try to figure out something else, but he might try this out if it seems necessary. So how about it,
Go,
Lucas?
Captain.
You say you go first, Captain?
Yeah, I tell him to go first.
Okay, good.
I'm
I
holding
was-
the rope, basically.
I was just making sure. Yeah, hey. I mean, doesn't hurt, right?
And I'll just tie it off, like maybe if there's a loose plank or something, in case we need it again,
Yeah, no problem.
and cross myself.
Okay, yeah, he seems to be pretty strong. And seems to he does use the rope, but he seems to just use like brute strength to make the cross for the most part. For some reason, I couldn't give me a token for it. So now you are. Are you gonna do yours, Liam? Are you gonna make a check or? Okay.
Hey, I rolled a 2.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. You can do a reflex save.
Dexterity.
A dexterity save. I'm gonna get there. You know how much I have to reflex save in Pathfinder? I'm gonna blame Dave for this.
The answer is
Can I do strength?
always yes.
Yeah, a strength save or a dex save to catch your bum.
Ooh.
Sploosh. It's not very deep water, but it is deep enough to where you'll want to be swimming.
I can't swim. Oh wait.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can.
Yeah. It's like Little John.
I'm gonna toss a rope. Like
Yeah.
I literally tossed down some rope, and I
A
just
few minutes later, yeah, with a little bit less dignity and cleaner, you are up out of the water.
Get some of the dust of the road off me.
Yep, exactly. You got a free
Like, while
bath.
I'm down there, do I notice anything like any, I don't know, bodies in the water, or like any more rocks?
The current seems to be flowing pretty rapidly around the whole area. It seems like the moat was designed to take advantage of the river current.
Okay.
So unless you're gonna dive down to see if there are boulders underneath, then you won't really be able to see much.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
make it.
Like I assume like this is like a gradual like slope up, and I can just like run up and then jump up onto the.
They don't want anyone to be able to do that, so you would find
No?
it near impossible.
Oh
but
darn.
but one of your party members is throwing a rope down to you.
Okay.
So
Yeah. I
that's
would
what I
use
would
the
say.
rope and like pull myself up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was saying. I'm like, I mean, you can choose to do it your own way, but there is a rope being lowered to you. So
that'll almost be a 25 check. Was it? There's legendary. There's hard or very hard.
technically, some things can go at a 30 if you feel like, and so then it's like nat 20 or nothing, baby. You know, for most people's skill checks.
That's life.
Yeah.
Oof.
So this is, like I said, there are currently no guards standing around the edge. And looks like this is a gatehouse. Falling rock has destroyed this part of the guardhouse, and then as well as this corner of the keep or the bailey.
Roger.
So, what are you doing?
I just want to check for anything that's like out of place,
Sure.
trapeze or anything weird.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So go ahead and just do. I would say for that a perception, for the most part. And if you're trying to see about the doors, I mean, let's see what you get. Is everybody else just looking around, or are you kind of just walking through? You can tell that that Violet is inspecting things keenly.
I first go in the guardhouse and just look to see if anybody's inside the guardhouse or not.
Yeah, you do see when you go in and look, and yeah, okay, so, yeah, there are 3 dead guards.
Oh.
And it seems like the roof collapse caught them.
Oh boy.
There are bunk beds and foot lockers inside with like personal effects. You don't see any traps, um, but you do hear what sounds like crying coming from within the further building. It's pretty faint.
I'm gonna try to follow the sound. Like it sounds
Absolutely.
like somebody might be hurt or trapped.
So assuming we're all coming through and
Understood.
everything, and then let me actually look because I think I might have an ability. So are you guys going to go into the building?
I was gonna start on the outside first.
Yeah, what is
I would probably go through the opening that has the boulder. Or
Okay.
see if I can get in that way versus
I'm
the
gonna head
door.
that way
Okay.
to kind of do a search around to the stairs over here. Get up on top of the wall.
Yeah, it's a difficult terrain because it's full of rubble, but you will be able to climb over it and into the building.
Yeah. Liam
Okay,
can
and
follow.
before I get all
Yeah.
the way inside, I want to like look in the room. I don't want
For
to fall
sure.
in a hole or.
Yeah,
fight.
for sure. So looking around, and let me actually move you guys. This is part of why I was trying to see. I've got it. Maybe. So if you guys scroll to the right, let me know if you can see.
I see. I see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. For the ones that have more detailed stuff to explore, I put you on the wrong floor. Of course I did. Of course I did. They give me little maps.
Cool.
And so you guys are exploring around, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are exploring inside, and then I've got Lopenea and Morel outside with the captain.
Definitely taking a quick glance, like walking around the tower. Just seeing if there's anybody outside, any other bodies, any signs of struggles, anything like that.
I'm just trying to follow the sound of the crying. So.
Absolutely. So you'll hear that it actually seems to be. You don't see anybody down here, although you do see what looks like maybe like a bloody smear here on the floor. It's not encouraging, and then it sounds like it's coming from up the stairs.
Well, somebody was definitely moved from here. I want to make sure
Liam
it's
would
pointed
like try
out.
to whisper, but his voice is super deep and be like, "I think they're up there."
Who's that?
There. What's that noise?
Yeah, right. So I'll say
You-
though, yeah, for an outside inspection though, you're not going to find too much. So eventually, you probably will end up making your way in.
Yeah.
You do hear what sounds like a hoarse woman's voice coming from up the stairs. Now, at this point, she seems to have heard Liam's whisper, and so she's like, "Who's that?"
Hello, are you all right?
No, she's dead.
Oh God. And
Yep. Yeah. All right. So then I'm moving you to the second floor here, and you guys are coming in.
Yeah, I'm following him.
Yeah. So you guys are. Let me distract.
two at a time.
Captain's coming
Yeah.
over too.
I'm
Let me
gonna
turn off
let
your
his
aura.
big brawny shoulders block me.
Right. That's totally fine.
And,
Let me turn off this aura. Yeah. So yeah. So like I said, it's You guys can see the same thing where it seems that something definitely happened here. And you can and you hear conversation happening upstairs, and so I will move you guys along up there, but they're already engaged when this happens. So Violet and Liam, when you come up, you can see what look like two very somber guards and a lady um, who is kind of like mourning, and there's a sheet covered body there, and she is just kind of wailing over her body.
Are you all right?
Says I'm clearly not all right. Lady Nandar is dead.
Oh no. I'm sorry, I don't know nothing.
Who was she?
Um, she was the lady of Nightkeep or Nightstone. She was our noble. Starts crying, and yeah, the Captain Southwell's just like, oh, damn it, hell.
Sounds like y'all were lucky enough to have some good nobles.
Yeah, right. Yes, actually, yeah, you pick up on that. She seems to have really genuinely cared about her, and even the guards do seem a little bit emotional. They kind of a little bit verklempt. It's like, oh no. But they're all kind of just standing there, and the captain seems to be waiting. If you guys want to do interrogating, he will allow you. Otherwise, he's going to step in.
I'll ask the lady what her name is.
She says, "I'm Audra. I was her lady in waiting. She told me to run to try to save myself, but I wouldn't go, and I looked just. Oh, it's horrible.
What happened to her?
A boulder." Yeah, and you can tell if you look.
Yeah,
Her
smash.
shape under the sheet's a little bit wrong in
Ooh.
parts. Um,
Did you see where the boulder came from by chance? Just
this within
what was
this,
actually attacking?
yeah, with this, then the guards will kind of step in because she seems to be just wailing. They say, rocks, rocks seems to fall from the sky, and the people left, but our bridge had already was one of the first things to go from the keep. So she told us to tell them to try to save themselves, and all of the villagers fled. Um, I don't know where they went. They seemed to go north toward the woods. But after they had left, these four huge pale-skinned creatures descended from the sky and took the Nightstone.
What did the creatures look like?
Says they had this palish blue skin, and you don't know, like he sort of starts giving you a description. It almost kind of sounds like Liam a little bit, to be honest, because they're not necessarily like experts at describing.
Would I like recognize this description as like a cloud giant?
You definitely think that this sounds like a description of a cloud giant from your personal
Yeah.
background, Liam.
He would probably like mutter that. to
And
himself,
then
like,
you go, it wasn't just a rock. The intelligence check I made you make earlier. It's a cloud giant boulder. You've seen these a bunch
okay.
when you've done training with your mentor.
Yeah.
That must have been the heat of the moment that distracted you. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so Liam mutters under his breath, so quite loudly.
These were cloud giants.
He says,
And it
well,
must have been a very deliberate attack if they went for the bridge first.
Might be. But I don't know nothing.
All right, Jon Snow.
At this point in time, would we appear up the stairs?
yes, yeah, as I'd say, you were coming up the stairs during this exchange. You will have come into it. In the middle of hearing kind of the description of the stuff, the thought that it might be giants, it might be cloud giants specifically, not they might be giants. That's something else. And then, but then the captain is just like, well, blasted. If only she had survived. This makes everything so much more complicated.
Oh, I want to ask the guards about that lady freaking out on the other part of town if they know who she is.
Sure. You're gonna give him like kind of a description.
Blonde hair.
Her name was Kella.
Oh, thank you for that because I forgot her name already.
That's fine.
Uh,
I say, well, I mean, we haven't had many people through. Sounds kind of like one of the guests, maybe at the inn.
Yeah.
She hadn't been here very long, though. Maybe a day or two.
Did you know the adventurers?
They say adventurers.
There were
Other than you?
adventurers in the inn, but they've passed away now. Murdered, it seems.
They just seem, their eyes go wide with shock.
4
This is what-
bodies. One of them seemed to be of some clerical order.
Yeah, they say, and it's terrible. But no, there were no adventurers here beforehand, though they might have had very little power to stop such a thing.
And as far as we know, none of your villagers are here either.
No, it said
Not even
they.
bodies.
Well, I mean, the ones that lived fled.
But there are no bodies for the ones that died.
Yes, there seems to be much more to the situation.
I would, just in case, I would also show the what weird weapon to them. Like, have you ever seen a weapon like this?
Say, well, and it almost looks like a blow dart, but it's quite unusual. I have no idea what this is. Is it poison?
Why don't we find out?
Oh God.
Uh,
And that's how you get hepatitis.
Hooray!
Don't double stick needles, dude.
Um,
It was all around.
but actually, at this point, as a blacksmith, I would like. It's like, I actually am a blacksmith where I come from. May I take a look? Take a look at the dart a little more closely.
Sure. Yeah, you can give it
I
a.
probably grabbed like a few of them.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
There were not a shortage of these sticking from
Yeah.
their poor little bodies.
Yeah, he's gonna take it and examine it, see if it's been in anything that like
Yeah, give me
any other blacksmith would have made or otherwise.
an investigation.
Okay.
And then, so for the rest of you, though, like I said, Audra is hysterical. The guards seem a bit teary-eyed, but holding it together in the face of the situation, and with the captain here, though they don't know him. And they just say, "Well, we want to move her. Everyone will need funerals."
And quick question, because of the
Mm.
background, would I get any advantage on this or no?
It's something that I keep in mind for what the difficulty is to succeed versus an
Okay.
advantage disadvantage.
Understood.
So yeah, right. Yeah, you can tell that definitely this was crafted by a smith, but they seem very unusual. So lightly and delicately crafted that you feel like it must have been some sort of goblin invention, um, or such, because the delicacy needed to craft these. I
Like,
mean, not
this
that
is not
other people
dwarven.
couldn't,
Yeah, this is
but
not
it's
dwarven
definitely not
made.
dwarven made, and it certainly doesn't match any humans that you've seen. Even some of like the tribes that you've interacted with, the barbarians and such, doesn't match with any of those.
And actually, I'll make mention of that. I said, I believe these darts of goblin make. Um, no other hands. I don't think. Perhaps elves, but I don't think they would make something quite like this. They
Yeah,
usually stick to a lot of wood with metal at the ends.
I kind of,
yeah, that'll catch your ear, Lopenea. Um,
yeah, I kind of come
right,
in and I'm
she's
just like, well, that's what the moon elves had. No, I've been seeing anyways.
yep.
Yeah, the only that's the only conclusion I have. At least that's a hypothesis I have for now, is that this is of goblin make, um, meaning that there were goblins here at some point, and that might be the reason for the slew of darts and dead bodies, and the fact that um, whenever we looked around, I don't think we saw anything extra on them. Correct? Like no quote unquote shinies, gold,
True.
nothing of that nature. Correct? And actually, I'll ask the guard captain. You didn't see anything whenever you were looking around. Correct,
Right. So
Captain?
noted for that. And then is there something you were asking as well, Liam?
I would ask if you would know what kind of weapon that would like shoot that, like if it would be a crossbow, light crossbow, hand crossbow.
One of
I
them said they thought it looked like a blow dart,
Okay,
yeah.
blow dart.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
This is yeah. And looking at it, would what I know is like, this can be. Could this be like thrown? Could this be shot? Could this be
If in order to throw this with any kind of precision, you'd think it would have to be done magically. Like, you know how you can magically pierce somebody with an item, but you
right?
don't think that it could be done from like a crossbow or anything like that. And no, they looked around, and this the captain says, but you know, we didn't find any goblin bodies either.
Yeah.
This is getting was it curiouser and curiouser?
Yep.
Is there hmm. Well,
Any
at least we
other,
have.
uh,
Sorry.
sorry. Any other staff that would like might need help in the tower that you might know of?
Says, no, luckily, most of the people were in the town going about affairs. It was early in the morning,
Okay.
so
And actually, a quick question, and this is and this is going to be directed towards the two guards that are standing next to the lady. because since she seems to be in hysterics, I don't want to ask her any questions about this.
Probably better.
I'm gonna say, you guys, do you know of any like goblin settlements or hovels or anything that have been noted around the area near here at all?
No, near here, other than the nearby settlements and cities like Waterdeep. There are the wood elves in the forest, but they want no dealings with us.
Understandable. Um, what else? It keeps the woods, and this is a town.
So,
Not their thing.
oh, I see.
Yeah, that was just that was just my thoughts. Um, but no, if there are no goblin settlements near here, and there's goblin make weapons, what is the furthest? And actually, at this point, it's like, and this is gonna be like general to the room, and
Right.
like, in what way, what goblin from where are we looking for? Are we looking from something further north? Are we looking for something that's closer to Waterdeep?
Um,
Was she trying to talk?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot I was on.
You're totally fine.
Talk.
It's really fine. It takes a bit.
Before you guys made it up the stairs, the guard said that the attacking army seemed to go towards the north.
North.
Yep.
Ooh.
Ah, then they might have goblins amongst their midst.
He says, "Well, if that's the case, then depends on what my rangers and scouts find. But they're a quite capable group, it seems. Many adventurers are in Waterdeep all the time, and in Daggerford. So it's very easy, as you see, to get an eclectic group such as yourself." Says, so we'll see what word they do find.
Thank you, Captain.
Yes, but in the meantime, he just says, I need to get word to my brother in Bryn Shander. And I have to stay here now that we know the fate of Lady Nandar until we can secure further help. So,
Fantastic. What would you have us do then?
yes, I would have you go to Bryn Shander and meet with my brother and tell him what has occurred here. He is, like I said, the sheriff, so he may have further work or need for you there. But I'm dispatching skilled groups of adventurers as much as possible to try to ensure that the word actually arrives.
what's
Then
your brother's
when
name?
What's your what?
Brother's name?
Markham
Yeah, Markham Southwell.
Okay.
and Captain Southwell, do you have any parchment or something like that for which to signify that this is directly from you, or some
He's got
word that
me.
we can say?
Yes, as I say, and with that, he'll actually take what looks like a little token of some kind out of out of one of his pockets and give it over to you, Violet, and just say, this my insignia. And he says, I trust this will be done post haste. But like I said, he will know of other troubles as well, potentially, and I look forward to hearing what the Lord's Alliance has to say about this. Because certainly, if there's some sort of, I don't know, could it be, could they be coming up from the Underdark? Could they have
That's
come from the city sewers? But then the giants, you seem to know something of cloud giants, turning towards you, Liam. Would they work with goblins?
Nay.
Yeah, without any doubt.
Yeah.
Alright.
and actually, the only other thing is, would I need to make any roll to have knowledge about like the giants, like of like, or is there just a general knowledge?
So in this moment, it's for the most part a history check. Although, unless you've had some direct dealings with them, I will tell you in the concept of this that most people who are small folk have no interaction with giants whatsoever. And the most common ones that you will hear about them interacting with are hill giants, because they tend to be pretty food motivated. I relate to that. And so they'll sometimes
Fair.
go wandering into human villages when supplies are low or they're just feeling lazy. like me at Sonic at 1 a.m.
Quoted.
So,
Quoted and noted.
yeah. So it's just basically, so I would say like a good history to know more details because
Okay.
there is a ton of history of the area involving giants and everything like that.
Well, my character kind of snaps out of her trance and she goes, "Speaking of goblins, if they came from the north, could they be warg riders?"
Says maybe one of you guys found some work tracks out there.
Oh.
Yeah, I think our next step might be to check outside the gates, maybe.
Sure.
See if there are any like tracks leading in a certain direction.
Because you know there's goblin
And-
tracks everywhere.
Yeah, right. So what is it that you're trying to know specifically about the giants so I can know what to tell you? You're muted again.
Know about their habits, their like their typical culture.
So this is enough. Sure. With that, I'll say the 17 is going to be enough to tell you that varies from giant to giant. The things that they have in common are that they tend to, for the most part, disdain small folk, though not all. They have very little dealings with them. But you do know that some of them are casters, so their culture seems to vary wildly from type to type.
So there is a high possibility, since they saw giants descend, that there could have been possibly a higher circle giant or higher circle magic giant able to do such thing spread out amongst. And it was the 4 giants, I think we're told of.
4 giants. Now, Liam, you know cloud giants have flying towers.
Yeah. I would relay that to the group, like, essentially,
A lot of them do.
yeah, they generally keep to their cloud, like, settlements. Would they be called settlements?
They sometimes make like literal cities in the clouds,
Yeah.
and will have like towers in the clouds, and they will like to travel around and do divining magic and you know.
I would say, if you heard tale of giant beanstalks, the cloud giants, they're the ones that make, they're the ones that are known for those. And
Yeah, and so yeah, so you know, but yeah, I mean, and like I said, Liam, you're the only one here who would know anything about it. Let me get a history check with advantage from you, Liam, to see what you might remember from when your mentor was teaching you about things other than putting your fists at stuff.
yeah,
He talked a whole
like
lot.
Liam, like, is very much like the 1,000-yard stare guy. Like when someone's talking to him, he's just like, yeah, but it's just like, whoo.
Yeah,
right
and
over there.
Violet, you're just sitting here like I've got some more errands to do, more shinies to get.
I'm wondering how quickly my captain wants the word sent to his brother.
He'll-
Because I'd like to pass an idea by him.
Absolutely. So if you've got an idea for him, that's totally fine. And he made you recite some of those things while you were doing some of your exercises, Liam. And
Yeah.
so you know that of the hierarchy, that it seems that cloud giants, if they're not at the top, they're definitely toward the top
Yeah.
of things. And so, like, they and storm giants seem to hold the higher positions among giants.
Yeah.
And so you could easily convey this as well. Violet, the captain, will kind of pull you to the side. Is this something I should put you into whispers for, or is it something that you can tell me?
I don't think so. I was trying to see if maybe I could use my disguise kit at night, if I had to speak to the lady as the guy who got stabbed in the back. Because I want to see if she'll freak out that he's actually alive or talk about what actually happened to him.
Well, that's something.
Because here's what I'm thinking. Even if I trust her, I want to know why those adventurers' bodies weren't taken, but everybody else's was, and why she wasn't hurt. Because she didn't really tell me anything when I brought it up.
That's true. So then, like I said, this is kind of a fairly open conversation. Then you guys will be hearing this, and he seems he's like, oh, that's interesting. He says, no offense or anything, but with all of your kind of like gestures at your fur, he's like, is that but I've seen you do weirder things and pull it off. Um, do you think there'd be merit in such a thing? I was thinking we could try to find a powerful enough cleric to Zone of Truther.
I think any information we can relay to your brother before we leave is going to be more helpful information.
Yeah, and the sun is beginning to set soon, so he was gonna ask you to head out pretty soon. If everyone is willing to wait for this idea, then he will allow that because he says that he's already dispatched people to Golden Fields and Tribor.
Actually, he's like, I'm 100% behind this idea. I find it very strange that she has 0 markings whatsoever.
And
Just the
left
blood
alive.
on her. 0 markings on her
Right.
body. Like,
What about and what about you, Lopenea? Do you think it's engaging
Well,
as an
yeah,
idea, or what
I
do you want to do?
mean, why was she left alive of everybody? I mean, obviously she wasn't very quiet about the fact that there was shit going down. So, pardon my language, but it's like you think she'd be making enough noise to be noticed among goblins.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, good.
I was like, well, she's still a little odd to me, and if Violet needs a little help with her costume, I can do a little minor illusion to make her fur
Okay.
look like skin.
Absolutely. So he says, well, I'll give it a try. What's your part going to be in this? What are you guys going to be doing? Start helping me gather the remains?
I can help with that, and also give me time if we're at least us traveling together. I'll be able to talk to Liam here. I want to know what everybody's capabilities are. That way, I can better like prepare my spells for everyone.
And though we had a hasty introduction, I know this is far into it more than you're used to. But if you'd each like to give a kind of basic description of what you look like beyond what you can see from your tokens, it's not a bad time. You were all kind of very quickly banded together, have been moving at a breakneck pace until this moment. For his part, Captain Southwell is a strong-looking human man in plate mail and a stern expression.
You want to go in the lineup that we have?
He doesn't
here
say.
with-
For me, I've got Lucas, Josh, Will, Sentry for my order. Is that what you guys see as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll go from left to right for this one.
Yeah, Liam is a Goliath. He's doesn't have too much gear on him, just like a belt with some pouches and stuff. He's bare chested. As you can tell, he's pretty straightforward guy. If he hasn't mentioned it on the road yet, he's fought 12 opponents in the stadium under the sky, losing to none but one. He's killed 7 opponents in honorable combat and provided over uh, 100 folk with pleasurable tunes with his viol. He carries like a big
It looks like almost like an upright bass kind of thing, right?
upright bass. He plays like a violin. And he lists off his accomplishments at the drop of a hat, but I'll spare you guys. In any case, he's just looking for more fights so he can go back to his Goliath clan and speak of his exploits.
And then, as far as what you do, he mainly sticks to the punching things. I don't know if there's anything else you want to describe about yourself, but I think that'll be pretty good.
He's he can tell you about his mentor, who is a cloud giant named Dieselnoy, known as the Sky Piercing Knee. He taught him the ways of unarmed combat and how to be an honorable young Goliath. He wants to do honor to his mentor and help those in need.
All right. So Morel / Josh.
So my character stands at actually a height of 6 feet. Um, he's looks relatively lithe, like he like he does like push-ups right in between him doing like book work.
Mm.
Um, and eyes are in ocean blue, and as far as like his appearance, he's of course got like the normal like scribe's robes. He has like a pair of spectacles that are like hanging off his robes. He has he has his wizard book um, proudly on his side. He has what seems to be a quill that looks a little strange at first glance. Um, but the rest of him, he kind of says that I am a wizard of the Order of the Scribe. I am I've been trained in the ways of working fast and taking down information and making sure that all of it is accurate. I come from a family of blacksmiths and miners, and that is I was from a town that was closer to the spine, one of the human settlements, and he kind of like just waxes poetic about his family, very much a family oriented like guy, like loves his family, wants the best for them. But whenever he starts saying those things, he says, "But there was a rather awful character that seemed to have caused a lot of problems for the land that he was on, and unfortunately, he can't say much more about this tyrant." Other than that, him and this tyrant are not on good terms, and probably wouldn't mind seeing his head on a spike.
All right. So Lopenea.
Lopenea is a half moon elf, half seems to be human, but unlike moon elves with their white hair, usually her hair ended up being like a brass color, and what they thought was to be a rash on her ended up being small dragon scales. So it turns out she has a little bit of draconic in her, and her and her mother were kicked out because they thought that her mom had got a little affair with the dragonborn. So they moved to Daggerfall to just kind of make a living, where she joined the leather workers to make some money. She's kind of not so much adventurous, it's more than just curious. Like, when she heard the word giants being shouted about, she was like, "Ooh, I've never seen a giant. I'm going to check it out." She doesn't care about danger, she just wants to see the giants. And she does have a few things that her mother gave her before she passed away. She has have a circlet that has a gem in it, and also a necklace with the same gemstone, the ruby. Other than that, though, she just has standard clothing, nothing fancy. And
Gotcha.
she luckily got trained in some weaponry before they got kicked out of the moon elf home. I can't remember the name of their homeland now.
Yep. And for your sake of like what you do,
I joined the leather workers guild just to make money, so her and her mother would have a place to live. And when her mother passed away, she was like, "Well, I don't have a reason to stay here," so then started traveling a little bit. Like, more out of curiosity to see the world.
yep.
And
And so far you've made it as far as from Daggerford to Waterdeep, but
yeah, I got dragged into some fun stuff with giants. So I'm like, "Hey, giants, I'm going."
absolutely. Right. And Violet.
So, Violet Blossom was, she's a Tabaxi, but basically when she was a cub or a kitten or whatever you want to call little baby Tabaxis, her village was attacked, and she was raised by the nobles that attacked that village. Um, yeah, I don't really think Violet knows that she's a Tabaxi. Like, I think she's heard the word thrown around, but not really that it pertained to her.
We'll call you
She,
a Catwoman a lot.
yeah, cat girl, Meowth, whatever. Um, she was more like a house pet that kind of just because she could talk and be treated like a human kind of was, but just to the extent that it helped the family. So she got a taste of a lot of the fine things, but just because she was useful. Um, she is broken off from that kingdom because sad things happen to people that follow orders all the time. Um, and she kind of just joined the Order of the Unicorn, which would be on her robes, some insignia, um, to kind of get away where she was. Learned some more useful skills along the way, but now kind of just does things as part of the Order, um, or to help in general. She doesn't really like to lead anymore or make big decisions for groups freely. She kind of just follows and does what needs to be done. Um, she's, got her white. My character sheet disappeared. Anyway, she's got a white coat. She's got piercing eyes, but she kind of tries to keep as much of her figure covered as she can, because as far as she knows, tabaxis aren't a thing. She doesn't like to scare people.
Right, is also maybe part of why you spend so much time disguising yourself, doing other, such things.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, and one more thing to add that I forgot to add. He himself is a blacksmith. At any point in time, as far as besides being a wizard, he can help fix gear. Eventually, if he has the right tools and right amount of time, he can make gear and perhaps upgrade the gear that we currently have. It doesn't necessarily pertain to Liam since he is bare chested, but perhaps a weapon of sorts that would suit him at some point I can perhaps make him.
I also wanted to add, like, just because she likes to be as upfront and forward as possible, she prefers reconnaissance and acquisitions for jobs. Like, she'll get her hands dirty if she has to, but she pretty much avoids any sort of assassination or marking jobs. She doesn't like marks.
With what you've been doing so far, that hasn't been at all a concern. You do
Right.
have to sometimes hurt people that are trying to hurt you.
If they're
or trying
bad,
to hurt
that's
others.
fine. I just she doesn't like go kill this guy because I said so.
Absolutely.
She'd rather find out why and what the root of it is first.
So, Josh / Morel,
Yes.
you know that Bryn Shander is in Icewind Dale.
Okay, and that's the town.
That's the town that Captain Southwell is currently asking you to go to.
Uh-huh.
It's not where you're from, but it's a little closer than you like. You're from East
Okay.
Haven, another town up there, but
Okay, East Haven. Alrighty.
but you do know that Bryn Shander is above the spine. It's part of Icewind Dale.
The only thing that he asked, and actually this is something he'll walk over to Violet since she seems to be adept at disguising. I say, there, Miss Violet. I just have a favor to ask.
Anything from a new pals.
The thing is that I am. The tyrant is from around that area that we are heading to, as it is a part of Icewind Dale.
Violet
there
loves a
any-
tyrant.
And someone that I was able to divulge a large deal of information about. As we move forward, I'll let you all know a little bit more, but he wants my head, and is there any way that you can disguise me before we get into town?
Keep the head on the shoulders.
I'm more than happy to help. I'm very familiar.
And Liam, this will be a chance for you to potentially go to your home as well, depending on how
Yeah.
it plays out up
And
near the
funny
spine
enough,
again.
I'm actually proficient in disguise kits, so if you want assist,
The captain starts looking at you guys who just had this conversation, and he's like, "Make sure we keep it mostly above board, all right?"
And he's literally like, no worries for me. I just don't want my
yeah, he
head
looks
on.
at you, Violet. He's like, "You know what I mean. I understand that sometimes things go missing, but let's keep the stealing to a dull roar. Yes, I'm somewhat responsible for you right now, and so and he says,
I promise my sticky paws will not be caught.
as you guys prepare to do whatever you're going to do this evening, I'm going to go arrange for your transportation.
Thank you,
well, I
sir.
get to keep
and-
the horse.
Yeah, and he starts yelling for them to start dragging more planks across, and he says, "What horse?" Because he's forgotten about it.
Exactly.
The big, yeah. That's pretty funny. All right. So, is there anything that you guys want to do to prepare for the evening?
I want to get the guy's clothes so I can be as accurate with my disguise as possible.
Yeah, sure. So,
This is grim. Let me just say, this is taking a grim turn.
Okay, I just want to study this guy's body and clothes. Okay,
the easiest
do
ones
that.
for you to pick out are gonna be what you think might have been the cleric stuff. So, Josh, what was
that
there?
the one that was stabbed in the heart? I want to be specific.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I remember
the
this.
character stands at around about 6'1". He had what looked like sun emblazoned on the sun emblazoned on everything. He had sun on his chest. He had sun on his shield.
As you guys will see that pulled out, the two of you that went into the temple will recognize that same symbol from the temple.
It is the sign of Lathander.
Mm.
If you it actually we still have to make a religion roll on that, but that is essentially what it is.
That's fine.
But yeah, that is.
He's got like an
He would
icon.
carry a mace.
Yeah, your holy
so
icon
you
in your
would- you would-
mace.
Yeah, the holy icon, which would be an amulet that's wrapped around his neck. So you would take amulet off, place it on yourself, or make something makeshift, whatever your choice is.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can procure the stuff so I don't have to make it, that'd be better.
Yeah, this is, like I said, actually, if you're looking by, give me another investigation. Try to toggle it with advantage, and do it with advantage. You're taking your time and kind of slowly going through and looking at stuff. Even the three that look like they might have died of other wounds have all been stabbed through the heart.
Oh.
Every one of them.
This is fucking grim.
Sorry.
No, like Liam saying that just like,
Got it.
Oh, like Liam is like, ugh.
This wasn't honorable combat.
Definitely not. Yeah, like, no. But yeah, so you'll have all of those things.
Perfect.
Liam has like 3 thoughts in his head, and it's just like, is everyone all right? This is grim. I don't know nothing. I'm sorry.
He's like, hope we get to keep the horse. That's the fourth thought's trying to work its way in there. He's like, I don't wear armor, but the horse does.
If it weren't for my horse, I would have spent that year in college.
My horse? That's my horse? That's my horse.
All right.
Sorry.
So you've got your disguise kit. as well as that, you have people that can do magic. I will say, for the sake of drama, you guys spend time working on this, and I guess what I want to know is, does it look like you've had all the wounds inflicted on you, but you're just alive? Or what are you going for here? I want to know.
I want to have the wounds.
Okay,
I want
that's
her
what
to
I
think
imagined.
I'm the person that got hurt
Yeah,
and
that's what I
somehow I
imagined.
lived.
Okay, great. I was just making sure, I was getting a picture in my mind. It was very clear, but I, wanted to make sure I wasn't going even more grim than you were.
Curious if this is like a Christmas Carol situation where it's like a ghost, maybe coming to.
Yeah, as I say, it depends on how she
Um,
reacts, right?
Yeah, I think I'm going in with the idea that I'm the person and survived.
Okay.
I mean, if she's like absolutely convinced I'm dead, I might try to be a ghost, but I'll try to survive.
And just a reminder,
Okay.
I do have a proficiency in disguise kit, so I can provide help.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
That's
whole-
no problem.
The whole time he's just like, this is grim.
Yeah. Yeah, just wow, this is so grim. All right, so
I mean,
so
I think
right
I
now the
have
guards
the
are watching
disguise
her.
kit too.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying.
Wasn't
Between the
okay,
group of you, you are going to be appropriately disguised.
cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there are 4 of you here. 3 of you can do disguising, and the other one's just like looks good. But right now, like I said, the guards actually have her kind of. They've cleared out a space in the barn, and have made like one of the stalls into like a cell because the inn is not currently acceptable to be in. Josh, you see my message? I sent you a DM. Yeah, so then you'll be able to meet with her. I'm just waiting for a piece of information.
I'm also curious if there were any like logs or notebooks on any of the bodies. Would I know any of their names?
That's a really good point. I feel that if any of you guys would have had notes on you, it probably actually would have. It would have been. You can find what looks like the remnants of a warlock's grimoire. And everyone knows that those are kind of like, it's like your Tumblr meets your spell book and your live journal, depending on what area you're from. So there's a lot of magical stuff in there, but it's also a lot of personal things as well. I'm not sure if the other characters would have had notes, but for sure the warlock would have at least had some sort of writing on them. And it seems that they were part of a guild, an adventuring guild, and you don't see much beyond that because it seems that whatever happened quite suddenly. But you
Okay.
suspect that adventuring guild is probably why are they there, why they are there, and that's totally fine. All right, and from looking through, you can see the names. You're pretty sure that that you're gonna be the cleric, like I said, based on like the different information that you were finding, right? And so you're just trying to see, like, I guess, what the best stuff you can find is to do the imitation. Is everyone else gonna be hiding while this is happening, or what are you guys doing? Just so I know.
I would look on from a distance and maybe try and get insight.
Sure, because like I said, like you guys could be more like out in the area, like out in the barn proper, and
Ooh.
less like in the stall.
I have an idea. And he's like, why doesn't one of us like? Wait, one of them's breathing.
I was thinking of like just walking in there.
Like pull off the whole drama.
Yeah.
I was thinking of walking into the room and just let out a scream because one of the bodies is missing.
Oh yeah, like something along those lines. That's what I was thinking of.
I'll let you guys decide the details. You're pretty sure that the cleric's name was Bevan, like Bevin. Bevan. Like Devon, but named by millennials.
Ruin everything.
I feel personally attacked by that statement.
I am
I
a millennial,
personally
We're all
and I attack
millennials.
myself.
I go to attack mode.
Exactly. He
I
rolls
had a
initiative on the
I had
DM.
a job interview. I had a job interview with my district manager to like get promoted, and she's like, "It can be really hard to talk to millennials." I'm like, "You realize you're talking to a millennial right now, right? I'm pretty sure I can talk to other millennials."
What you just need to understand is that a lot of people over the age of 40 think that everyone who's under the age of 25 is a millennial because they think that that's like
Yeah.
synonymous with young person. So anyway, Bevan is his name, and you guys can decide the dramatic approach that you want to take. The idea has been laid by you guys, so I am merely spectating.
Lopenea, I think that you can sell. I feel like you'd be able to sell a story a lot better than I could on any day of the week.
Yeah, who's the best at lying besides Violet is kind of the moment.
Oh, I've how to use
I
some
have pretty good
deception.
Performance.
Yeah, performance or deception. So you guys could both participate, right? And if you feel the least confident, Morel, you can stay out of it.
I'm not gonna lie. Let's take a look at the old character sheet, and
I got it.
yeah. What charisma?
So yeah, so I'd say, like I said, it's up to you guys, but not
Okay.
all of you need to participate in the charade. But if he's good at performing, you're good at deceiving. You know, you guys could work it out.
I've got an idea. Moral, you will be talking with the lady and walking by the tavern. As I walk into the tavern, I will scream to get your attention, and because she's in cuffs, you can't let her go, so you have to bring her in with. Whereas Violet will be quote unquote missing, but maybe just standing over in like the corner or sitting on a chair that I can't see. And then Liam can come in and be like, "Oh, he's over there," and go over and help him, and then just kind of like
should I use
listen
the staff
for
of healing?
No.
Quote unquote on her.
Because
As
you
like,
gave that to. Didn't you give that to the captain?
And none of you had attuned to it yet either. Not sure about all that.
But at least Liam can go help the gentleman, and then to kind of like listen and kind of feel out the situation.
So
yeah, I can just be like talking to them, to Violet, and be like, "Are you all right?" And you know, just try to put on a performance like, "I thought you were dead."
Yeah, sure.
Could I somehow, I don't know if it's possible, I'm thinking like a blood pack in my mouth so I could like bite it and spit blood.
Okay, so like I said, though a big boulder did come through here, like I said, the stalls were untouched. If you can see over on the right, kind of in the similar area, I've got you on the ground floor of the stable.
Oh, we moved. That's right.
So that I have floor plans for the buildings that you're actually interacting with in more detail.
I see it. Oh, you can use some of these berries I found as blood packs. They're red.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfection.
Guys, just ham it up together.
I love this.
Okay.
You know where the berries come from.
Just don't swallow them.
Yeah, right. He's like, "Oh, that's how we lost our bard." Anyway, so we go on, and if everyone is ready, then I guess you're doing the least amount of acting, Morel?
Yes, I am amoral. I'm a moral.
They're like, "Oh no." Should have named myself Ethics. Okay.
Darn ethics.
You hear Liam like go to a very highfalutin place, be like, "Acting."
Yes, he's like, "I am for the stage."
Welcome to the world
the
of
Colosseum.
tomorrow.
I'll be like slumped in one of the stalls, like holding my wound. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
Wait, weren't they in the tavern we found them?
Well, it's like I said, she was being held in the tavern or in the stable. So if you guys wanted to arrange to have her moved, that's fine. But this is where she was being held. So you can choose.
Like, bring her in. Like I could be like carrying
you guys can have her
Violet
moved.
disguised and be like, "Oh, I thought we lost you." Would that work?
Oh, there's 2 guards standing over her right now. So somehow we have to get the guards to agree to move her
Well, the guards would know about the plan. I told the captain.
Yeah, the guards will cooperate
Oh,
with
that's
you.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's not a
Okay,
problem.
gotcha.
If you want her out of here, but this stall is where she's being held. So if you're gonna do it in here, that's fine. If you want to, drag her over into the inn and say that they decided they're gonna keep her in one of those rooms instead, it's a little gruesome, but you definitely can.
Like,
Yeah.
Lopenea, Violet, you're our directors. Tell us what you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, to get her
I'm
I
out,
am here.
interested in the carrying in idea, and I can be like, "Thank you for bringing me to her," kind of thing.
Yeah. So
Because
there
I
you
want to
go.
confront her.
All right. Yeah. So, we get you all sorted out. Do we need to do any checks for disguise?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm going to say that she is appropriately disguised. I will keep the checks limited to the performances and deceptions. So, I believe that you were still participating in this. Perhaps, Lopenea, you were doing some of the stuff as well.
well, he's
don't know.
bringing Violet to the stables to kind of like sit and talk. I'll be standing outside and kind of give like a loud. I thought you were dead.
There we go. Okay, so I'll get the checks from each of you then involved. It'll be a deception or performance for Violet, and then actually I'll say that's true for all of you. A deception or a performance.
The only thing I'm actually gonna do is I'm actually not gonna be talking about anything having to do with the other characters. The only
Good.
thing I'm doing is at least I'm gonna sit down in front of the lady Kela.
Kella,
Um,
yeah,
and
nice.
and I'm going to be sitting down with one of my books in hand, and with the magic quill, I'm going to start. It's like, now you said your name was Killa, if I'm correct.
Kella, and she'll
Kella.
start. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see, how do you spell that?
So in the middle of this is when. Oh, I'm gonna say it's in the middle of this kind of routine questioning that the
Yeah.
performance breaks in.
Like
So you hear the shout from
And
outside. I
standard
thought,
performance, not advantage, right?
you know, go for it with advantage. You're pretty disguised and awful right now. There we go. I feel good about my choices. And you're being like dragged in and slumped. And so Liam, what are you doing?
Liam busts the door in with a foot, like, oh Lord, oh God. I
That's
thought
so
we
funny.
lost you. I thought we lost you. And he'll actually, put Bevan.
Bevan.
Yeah, Bevan.
Yeah, Bevan.
Perched up against the wall, or like maybe a plank or something, and you know, like fake 10 to wounds and like dressing and bandages and stuff.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for the help, but thank you even more for bringing me to her.
She
Oh, what's
is
this then?
staring wordlessly at you right now. Just
Insight, by the way, real quick.
yeah, for sure. Everybody here can feel free to give me the insights. Actually, let me see something too.
Someone break a fucking 15.
Jesus Christ.
I've done it a couple times, so.
So just a few.
Oh, yeah, nice. Meets beats, right?
Whew.
I knew I liked her. Okay, I'm done.
Because I had a 22. She seems frightened. Much more, and reading off, much more cornered and desperate than she has so far. But she definitely seems to be trying to play it cool. To everyone else, she seems like she might be in shock. A little hard to read.
Do you know what happened? Do you remember?
Who are you asking right now?
Bevan.
Okay, Bevan. Yeah.
You know, Kella, that's a strange look to give such a fond friend.
You're breaking up a bit there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Of course, of all the times. It's the Discord is doing the lag.
No Discord.
Or is it not Discord?
No, you're coming fine. So is Lucas.
Am I coming in? Because we're on the same Wi-Fi, so.
Well, no, it was just weird because remember earlier how she did that thing where she sounded kind of like a robot?
Try
Yeah.
again.
Am I okay now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, we got to the
So-
dramatic part, and I was like, no, the tension. Okay, go on.
So I say, Kella, that's such a strange look to give such a fond friend. Why don't you tell them what happened?
And she says, well, I did my performance up here. I, uh, I'm so glad you're okay. After you guys found me hiding in the inn, I was so relieved that there were other people alive there, um, and she seems to be very fumbling now. She's like, there were the goblins, and they probably were behind the most of the smaller deeds. Surely it couldn't. And she's just like, she's like,
Am I playing
and
Ellie
it-
Noir?
yeah,
I don't
right.
think
And
I've ever heard you be so well spoken.
right. So yeah, she seems right, like kind of those LA Noir vibes, absolutely. Um, okay, so it's gonna be pretty sudden. So she tries to lunge out at you.
Oh,
She seems to have somehow gotten out of her irons. She's gonna try to make an attack on you, and after this, we'll see what happens. But she does lunge at you. Um, with the 24.
oh wow.
That kind of hits. I'm pretty sure I don't have a 24.
But she's only gonna hit you for 6 piercing. With her dagger, and I'll say at this point, you guys are all very aware that this has happened. She seemed to be trying to go for something vital and have missed, and Bevan has got a dagger, another dagger now, seeming to try to finish off the job. What are you guys doing?
I
Um,
attack.
I'm gonna start off with a mind sliver.
Yeah, I would give you guys, as I'd say, I'll let each of you take an attack of opportunity right now and even see what happens, because this may or may not even devolve into full combat, considering the scenario, right?
She must succeed on an intelligence saving throw.
That's fine. Okay,
beat DC.
everybody else, what are you doing? And actually, I want to hear Violet/Bevan. What are you doing? This trifling stabbed you. She
yeah,
has.
but she's also like through a cage, right?
Oh well, I thought. Well, remember she was at the stall. You were at the stall door. So
Okay, she's on the other side of something. My thought was to attempt to grab her arm. She's like stabbing into me and like grapple her.
sure.
The whole point is to try to get that information.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. And I mean, she was definitely trying to hold out, and then she tried to attack you. With that in mind, I will give you the dexterity save. I am paying attention to which game this is, and see if you can deflect. But she still is doing the attack because she's realized
like,
she can't
other
answer
than
her
that,
way
would
out of
cunning
this.
action have been a thing? Like
Maybe, but
dashing?
like I said, I'll give you. Yeah, you could have potentially done something to divert it, but she does kind of startle you because she seemed to have been scrambling to kind of come up with an answer, and then lunged forward wildly to try to stab you, which is one way to get out of a lie.
There's 2 guards still there, right?
Yeah, I'll say that's enough. Yeah, no, they're there, but she did divulge some information first, right?
Yes, she did.
So, hopefully you're able to get some of that. She failed the shit out of her intelligence save, and you said, Liam, are you gonna attack as well?
Yeah, I'm definitely
Okay.
punching her in the face.
All right, it's fine. Lopenea,
Me, I am.
that's gonna hit for sure. Kind of like through the fence. You're just like dexterously slips through the bars, just like. Seems like your fist shouldn't even fit through there.
It's 2 psychic damage, and she subtracts 1d4 from the next saving throw she would make.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, she kind of clutches her head. Well, first she clutches her face because she gets punched, and then she seems to be clutching it even more in agony.
And I cast Chill Touch, which, you can't. Well, she's got to do the saving throw again, doesn't she? Where is that?
I believe so. Is it Dex or Con?
Chill
Tell
touch
me.
is in an attack roll. I
Attack
believe.
roll? Okay, I can't remember. He's gonna play in this. So yeah, so you said, Violet, you used your reaction to block the thing. She did, like I said, give you some information. Yeah, shockingly, a 23 does hit her.
Let's look at this while I
Gross.
unloaded on her.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, that's why I'm not even having you roll initiative right now. I'm sure you're aware. So do you know how to roll damage, Lopenea?
Yes. Come on. Do your thing. There we go.
Sometimes there's a bit of lag.
There it is.
Absolutely. Oh god. So yeah, so and she almost like it seems like a spot of her seems like a wither a little bit almost. Just like screams horrified. Just like, fine, I murdered them. You know. And she's like, you should be dead. It's like you interfered with our plans. Just
Liam
So,
does
like,
at this
screaming
point
at
say,
Bevan.
acting.
yeah, nice.
Letting her talk because she's already divulging, so why not?
Yeah, no, she's like talking to Bevan. She's like, "You should be dead. You should all be dead. I know I drove that knife right through your heart." Just going
Woo.
off.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. And yeah, she seems at this point to have completely dropped her pathetic facade and is entirely hostile and aggressive. Um, So, but like I said, I'm not going to have you enter into initiative because it's not even like that. You got the guards there. She's in there. Y'all whooped her down. She's kind of just like, at this point, screaming and yelling about what has happened. And
Yeah, and if she's not like secured, I have a net. Like, if she's trying to like scramble out of there, I'll like try and throw a net on her.
Yeah, actually, yeah. If you can see that she left the irons behind her in the back of the stall when she lunged forward, she seemed to have been picking them or something. So yeah, so you
I
net
have
her.
a net.
So I'm curious if we show her the weapon from the goblins, if she would know what it actually is.
Sure.
She had to have been like working something somewhere to get us alone, to kill us, to not get hurt in the
Yeah, so
crossfire.
I will remind you what she said. She said that you found her hiding upstairs or like in the roof area basically of the inn. So you're surmising the other adventurers must have found her after the aftermath of everything that occurred.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, never
And
mind.
then taken advantage of the surprise and stabbed them. That doesn't mean you can't show her the weapon, but I just wanted to, because I know you're kind of newer to things, and I might be a little unclear too, so please feel free to get clarification. But you can still show it to her, and
Well, she's also from out of town, so
Yeah.
I figure,
absolutely.
you know, you did this. You absolutely betrayed our trust. Can you at least tell me what this is about? And I kind of like throw it, or one of them like on the floor.
Nice. I should look at it. Let me make an actually a check for her.
Damn.
Yeah, I was trying to see. She looks at it kind of blankly and is like, "Well, since I don't go in for such things, I stick to my poisons and my knives. So that looks like a more cunning make than I know of."
Who hired you?
She spits.
And at this point, I'm definitely gonna like take any of her, like I'm patting her down, trying to take any weapons she has off her, because obviously the guards didn't do that shit or didn't do.
She had two daggers that you suspect that they missed because they were strapped onto the insides of her thighs.
Yeah.
So you find
And
empty
one's in
sheath.
my arm.
Yeah, you found an empty sheath, and the other one's in Bevan's arm. Barely though. You deflected
Yeah,
it, so you didn't take all that.
checking lower back, you know, like any like pins in her hair or anything if she has her hair up.
Give
in the
me either do an investigate or a perception. I'm gonna lower the DC for this check as you are at this point, without any disguise at all, openly searching her body. And the guards are going to help if you need it. Anybody will
Can I
help
do
if you
sleight
need
of
it.
hand?
I'll
This is other people can do
I'll help.
looks to observe
Help me.
as you're searching,
Yeah.
so somebody can help you. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, I have a perception of +3 if that is a thing. I can help.
And one of the other ones can also try to observe as Liam is physically doing this. Another one of you can stand back and try to look as well. It's fine. Okay.
I kind of
So-
move a little bit to guard the door in case he tries to bolt.
Right. So you find, like I said, the 2 daggers. You'll also find stuck into the seam of one of her clothes seems to have been one of her lock-picking tools that she must have used to slip the irons.
Her lock-picking
Lopenea
tool is right there in her cloak.
and Violet also make checks to see if you can observe anything else as this is happening. I know you're distracted by the stabbity stab, but
Yeah, just by stab. That's the scientific term.
yes.
Yeah, indeed.
Finger guns. Yeah. Nice.
Don't forget to wink.
Yeah. All right. So, Lopenea, are you gonna check as well?
Oh, I mean, I was gonna guard the door while everybody else checked.
You can guard the door, but you can glance over and look.
Okay,
You can see if you get lucky, because you're also looking out the door.
that's true.
I got a 21, so
It's
Yeah.
getting dark out there.
You think. So yeah, you think that Liam was probably trying to be at least still somewhat gentlemanly while doing this, even though he's not leaving anything, whatever. So that must be why he didn't notice. But kind of hidden on her torso, up near where you would potentially wear some undergarments, there's a small tattoo. It just flashes briefly and across your vision, but enough to where you're going to notice it and be able to point it out and look. For you,
Yeah,
Lopenea, when you're looking out, you don't see anything in the town happening except for the grim work that the guards are having to do with gathering bodies.
She points it out. I would try to.
as
like,
Bevan thought he would.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. You pointed out?
most definitely. Like, what's that marking? Do I recognize it?
Yeah, I would try to not trying to show anything else, but show the marking.
All of you can make a history check or a general intelligence if you do not have a history, but I'll tell you in advance, this one's a tough one.
And it wouldn't have anything to do with like thieves' canty things.
I'm keeping everything that all of you know in mind.
I rolled a 6 +5, 11.
You know, Sentry.
Could I give?
Oh, hey.
Hey.
You. Okay, now Liam,
can
that's
see.
a very good check, but it still wouldn't have been enough for this. That nat 20 is actually exactly what I needed. You think it's because of your rogue stuff. You've heard rumors about these people, but you didn't think they really existed. You're not sure what they're called, but it's a tattoo of a small coiled winged snake. And you've heard that they're some sort of like spies or assassins or something, but you don't know even with that what they're called. But you know that some of them use these flying snakes, and it's one of their symbols. That's what you've been able to find out from your investigating and such. You don't go in for their ideals because they're into assassinating, but that doesn't mean you're not aware of them because you've come across their work.
Understood. I share what I know with the group.
Absolutely.
Well, yes.
Almost all of it, or all of it.
Well, I was gonna say, because I'm still in character, like I'm still Bevan. I could just be like, I know that marking,
Yeah.
and share with the team. This is a group of assassins. They're known for their spy work. I can't quite place the name though.
Yeah, she sits here like.
Howdy face.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a good assassin.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it.
One cuss word for the day.
Yeah, exactly. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you. Wait, sorry. So.
Yes, Scooby doo that mask right off.
And so Yeah, it seems that there is more here to know, but that's a pretty good roll. I really didn't think any of you were gonna get that, so I'm quite pleased with that nat 20.
Applause. Nice.
No, like genuinely, I'm like very nice. And so the
Finally.
captain has been outside listening the whole time. Yeah, kind of in this, and so let me know when y'all are done. He's not gonna interfere. But
I'm
she
pretty
seems,
good.
yeah, as I say, she seems to be petulantly refusing to talk at this time.
Yeah, if she's tapped out, I would like to literally peel off my disguise as I walk away and be like, I'm done.
She starts swearing so profanely that the community guidelines would prevent it entirely.
Say, hey, don't swear.
Yeah.
And I turn around and like with my disguise, like I pulled off my face.
Of the obscenities will follow you all out of the door. Just
I think you heard everything, Captain. She definitely needs to be kept in chains. Although I would keep a closer eye on her because they might try to kill her.
as well, he says, well, these two clearly didn't do their jobs. And the two guards that have been watching her look very sheepish. Somewhat
Liam
humbled.
will suggest that he doubles, if not triples, the guard on her.
He says, and we'll definitely need her to bring her to Waterdeep, at the very least, to meet with some of the Waterhavian nobles and see what they have to say about this. And he says,
And I guess we will say this to your brother as well.
He says, yes. As a matter of fact, with this development, I will have to write something up as well, because this needs to be investigated even further. So, if you'll give me but a moment. And he says, do you have? He's like, he looks as he walks away. He's still just like, the horse. Seems to be trying to remember something. It's like, what horse?
Liam's just avoiding his eye. Like,
Yeah.
like,
He just seems to be like just I had something just right on the tip of my tongue. I can't quite put my mind on it.
like sliding out, just
yeah, yeah, right.
It's Slender Man just peeking in and out, just like.
All right. And so before we move further, just as a brief moment, I know not all of you have participated in it before, but thoughts so far compared to the other sessions that you guys have done in this area? Just want to know how I'm doing here.
I love it.
I'm loving the roleplay.
Okay.
Yet again, the roleplay is a major aspect of what I love about D&D. Don't mind me. I am a big number crunchy guy. I love like crunching numbers, min maxing. I've done it before in campaigns, but the roleplay, fantastic. Love it. Keep it up, man. You're doing great.
You guys enjoying it too?
I like the punching.
There will be more combat. Don't worry. You know how it is with the session session reboots. Sometimes you've gotta go through some of the setup.
No,
Yeah.
I got to punch someone. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
happy,
exactly.
you
It
know?
was like I punched that lady. She tried to stab my friend.
I haven't played this area or anything, so like I'm all good. I'm really happy I got
enjoying
to
it?
disguise myself.
Yeah, so you're all kind of liking the vibe so far, at least.
Oh yeah.
All right. So after
Yeah.
taking some time, he'll come back to you and ask you, "Do you need to rest?" At this point, it is dark.
I haven't spent much of my spell slots, but I am going to do one more ritual before I do anything. Before we leave, we stay. So.
He says, well, any of you who wanted to disguise yourselves, as I seemed to have heard earlier, might want to do so before we leave." He kind of will gesture at you guys will see some sort of caster holding us things, and he says, "I'm going to teleport you."
Hey.
Oh.
Well
Then, my fine giant friend and cat friend
And half elf friend.
Hey.
and half elf friend, the ones who can all make me look pretty. And he does that. He's like,
He's like, "Make sure you get my good side."
Cat Lady or Blossom will do just fine.
Okay,
I have
then
played around with
Blossom.
the idea of a essentially like double layer disguise, where it's like disguise self spell on top of
An
a
actual kit.
disguise kit. So it's like
Yep.
even if the disguise self spell gets dispelled, like you'll still be disguised as the person you're disguised as. So it'll be like, okay,
I will
well,
have you guys.
double, triple check that, right?
Yeah,
So
obviously, you
I
don't have
want
to
to try
roll.
something like that, but I had that idea.
That's a great idea. It's very like Mission
I don't have
Impossible.
that spell, but
Doesn't
picking
Lopenea?
it up.
I've got minor illusions. I can just make things look a little different. Like I can
Some.
probably change his hair color or something, but it'll last for a minute. That's why the disguise
Gotcha.
for changing your fur for a minute for the
So yeah,
altercation.
Morel, you're like,
I'll,
note to self: find scroll of disguise self. Okay.
Yeah, and actually, find literally he's gonna write down find scroll for disguise self,
Uh-huh.
find scrolls for other magic and good stuff too.
And
I like
and you're
magic.
gonna say, Violet.
Winky face.
No, okay, I can't. All right. I mean, we both have disguise kits. I'll help disguise him. I'm just gonna keep my cover and stuff over my lovely cat features as much as I can.
Absolutely. So yeah, a wizard comes over with a scroll of teleport. Liam, are you bringing your horse? This is my question
if
that I have right now.
I'm taking that horse.
I'm gonna see how
Can
many creatures
I-
it'll take, because he won't stop you. At this point, he doesn't seem to know. Go on,
Yeah.
Can
Violet.
I ask the captain for the staff of healing? Not that I can really need it, but none of us do healies. So,
he
and I
says,
see that I could get hurt.
yeah, he's like, well, I don't know if any of you could use it, but sure. Better for you than end up in some noble's coffers. Yes.
Yeah, if Morel wants us to help find who it belongs to, I'll help gather that information. But till then, I think that's an us thing.
Sure.
And then one more thing, and as he looks at the scroll and his mouth waters, he literally is just like, just wondering, at any point in time, is there a place for which to procure said scroll, or do I have to work for a certain group? Or I would really like to study it and write it down in my books. I'm quite quick at it.
He says, well, moral it is, yes.
Yes, sir.
He says, be helpful. I'm sure Blossom will tell me what there is to know, and I'm sure we could arrange for you to get such things, especially as an Order of the Scribe member. But it's a little bit above your pay grade right now.
Oh, I completely understand. In fact, I probably can't even cast it at my circle. It is just a matter of I would love an opportunity to grab it if I may at some point. And he's literally like yet again still salivating. He like literally wipes his face a little bit. Sorry.
No, you're good. It takes up to 8 creatures, so it technically would actually work perfectly for the 4 of you and your horses if you're all stealing horses.
And
I'm taking my horse.
Yeah, that's your
I'm
horse that you were on.
I was like, if I may use the horse.
At this point, he kind of narrows his eyes, looks at you, and he says, "Take the horses," and just kind of like mumbles to himself
And he's like,
wanders off. And he's just
he literally.
he's like, "Don't lose that barding."
You don't
That
ask
stuff's
for-
expensive.
For permission, you ask for forgiveness. Okay.
Did you hear him, Liam?
Yeah.
Yeah, says that barding's expensive, so.
And he looks over at Liam and he's like, "Good job!" And he like reaches up and high five.
Reach up for the highest high five.
Yeah, he literally like tries. He's 6 feet and he's 7 foot. Hey, so your low five and my high five, perfect.
Excellent.
Crit.
Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of like a glowing circle forms around you, and he of course, if he gave you the message for his brother first, and you will, with a pop, disappear, and will be reappearing outside the outer gates of Bryn Shander for your own safety.
Very well.
Now, I feel like we'll get a little bit into this, but we're kind of approaching what I had in mind for us to do for our evening because I wanted to get us in a very solid opener. So I was thinking we could kind of go through the beginning of this scenario, and then we'll probably call it here and go on for the week, probably around 10. Next week will be longer, but the session opener, I never know how long everything is going to take. So it is dark. The guards, you'll hear 2 exclamations of surprise as you appear outside of a tall gate. It is frigid here.
How do you spell Bryn Shander?
Bryn space Shander. And I can put it in the chat.
That's what I thought so. But
That's totally fine.
He's like, hell!
Yes, so yeah, exactly. They look at you suspiciously. Oh, you're like an old man, and they just say, "Oh there," and you guys, you're on top of a mountain. It's quite cold.
Feels like home.
Ah, it does feel like home.
Violet feels
cozy in my coat.
Yeah, as I'd say, it feels like you're glad you've got clothes on. And then Lopenea, I think it's probably maybe one of the coldest places you've ever been.
Headlights are on.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this is the largest of the 10 settlements known as the 10 towns. Let me move you.
I grabbed that coat before we left.
I would like to stroke my fur and thank the gods.
Yeah, right.
And also, I would think I would have some sort of winter clothes, being that I am from the place that I am.
Yeah, any of you who are from there would have it if you needed it. Although, of course, Liam, you don't need it. So basically, that means you, Morel, because Lopenea, you're not from a very cold place. So can you guys see anything right now or no?
Bryn Shander.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Because some of the maps are cooperative and some of them are not. As I said, you will have popped out, let's say here, outside of the east gate. It's
Okay.
fairly arbitrary to me. He wasn't going to materialize you inside of the city, though, and risk causing a panic.
Freaking out. War horses in the town.
Right. Yeah, so these are 15-foot high, hinged wooden gates. They're currently barred, actually, because it's nighttime. But they still have sentries and guards. 2 30-foot tall cylindrical stone towers flank each gate. As you expect that some guards probably stay up there.
Liam would like approach the gate and like knock on it and be like, "I bet I could knock this down." Anyone dare me?
No. Definitely not.
Do it! Do it!
No,
do
no,
it! Do it!
Guard
no,
will stick
no.
his head out of the tower and just be like, "Ho there!"
Hello, can I knock this gate down?
Certainly not. Says, "What business do you have with Bryn Shander?"
Oi!
We're here to talk to Markham.
Are you gonna show him the thing?
Of course, I'm gonna show him the thing.
He
Show me.
kind
Be
of
like shiny.
he'll like pull his head in, and you hear him like, "Open the gate." So they just all like pull the bar. You can hear what sounds like creaking of wood. It sounds ridiculously heavy. Whatever they had barring the door, and like some muttering as the gates kind of groan open.
As they groan, I'm literally just gonna go pull up to Liam and like silently to him and be like, "Could have totally taken that door down."
I'm telling
Hey,
you.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you can see they look like they were
Violet would
moving.
like to.
Yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna take the insignia and like literally just pin it to my cloak because I'm just so happy to have something that my captain handed me.
Oh yeah, sure, so, absolutely. And it seems to be doing the trick. So
Did your senpai finally notice you?
Ooh woo.
Ooh.
maybe. So,
Not again.
but yeah, Liam, you're looking at that. What they used to bar the gate, and you're thinking maybe I should come do some curls later. You know. It's been a while. Right.
I-
So the guards will approach you, and they're not as unfriendly as they were originally. Shockingly. And they'll say, "Well, please, what can we do for you? I guess we should have known with your unusual manner of appearance, but we're not used to such things up here." Uh,
feed my horse.
they say, "Of course," they say. All of you, I assume. And the horse is like taller than the dude. It like tries to lead it away. At least yours is. Get to name it later. Um, but yeah, if you let them, they'll all start to lead your horses to. They actually have some stables here at the gates.
Okay.
Since if you're not sure where you're going to be staying, they'll offer to stable them right here.
Yeah, that's cool with me.
He says, I guess, well, who do you want to see? Do you want to see the speaker? Are you here for the speaker?
I'm here to talk directly to Captain Southwell.
Oh, yes, the sheriff instead. That's better. The speaker wouldn't want to be disturbed right now. And so, yeah, so it kind of leads you through. It's like I said, this is a pretty big city, as you guys can see here. I mean, it's not necessarily big by some standards, but it's huge. And they'll tell you to make sure that you keep your fingers and extremities under wraps, or else Arl will bite them off.
Who's that now?
Arl.
Just flying around there.
Yeah, right. And they say it's, well, they'll look at you, Liam, and be like, well, the cold that'll nip off the fingers if you're not careful.
Indeed.
I was raised too hard for that.
Yes, he tells you if you go to Kelvin's Comfort, they sell some firebeards, fire brandy, in the market square. But in the meantime, they say that yes, always enjoy a little bit when we're off duty.
I do enjoy a bit of brandy.
And actually, actually, that's where we'll bring in the captain to meet you. So they're gonna lead you to Kelvin's Comfort.
I'll lead over to Morel and go, what's brandy?
Yeah, right.
Or who's brandy?
It's a type of liquor that is kind of like steeped over a long period of time and made into an
they
alcohol.
had this like minutia about the kinds of alcohol that happened there to go along.
Sorry. Like there's also beer that's made from hops.
Like rabbits? Hop?
No, not like the rabbit hops. More like there's a plant.
I'll get to you in a minute, Lucas.
That you boil down, and you make into these gigantic vats, so that people can drink it and enjoy themselves. I will say this: since you don't know much about it, I would say take it easy
So like,
and only take a sip.
like wine.
Yeah,
Yes.
like wine.
Okay.
So
Yes.
if you guys can see where I'm pinging, the
Alcohol.
Kelvin's Comfort is here basically in the heart of the city.
Okay.
Just because I think Liam would have a bit more social sense than this, he wouldn't say this before entering the town, but he would say to Morel, "Hey Morel, what's your fake name gonna be?"
Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, that would have been great. I like
Outside the city, this
Pickles.
happened.
Yeah.
Say Nicholas?
no pickles.
Pickles. Oh my god.
All
They've
right.
never heard of those. So,
they call
I
me-
don't like pickles.
Oh, my name is Old Man Pickles. Full title.
I think she likes that less. Maybe that's just me
We'll just
projecting.
call you old man.
You can call me Old Man. That actually would be even better. Having no name makes it much better. Yes.
So, nice. So you guys will enter a quite popular tavern. They'll tell you that they have an extensive stock of dwarven ales and brandies, which makes sense as you come in and the proprietor is a dwarven man. His name is Ogden Flamebeard. And he says, "Oh, late travelers, welcome, welcome. He's,
Are we
grab a
also-
table by the fire. He, at this point, takes in your outfits. And he says, you are new to town. Everyone in here is dressed warmly in a bunch of furs and layers and, everything.
Fire.
I've been here before since I grew up on the spine.
Yeah. Once you started wandering into more human places, this one's actually one of the closer towns to where you're from.
It's
probably one of
might
the
I
few
know
you would
the
have visited.
bartender?
from where I'm from, I think.
And I'm sorry. Hang on, Josh. Liam, what were you saying?
Might I know him?
Um, I don't think that you might know him personally necessarily. He might recognize you a little bit though, because you are unusual looking.
Yeah.
But you probably wouldn't know each other like personally.
Well, just
you know.
as a reminder, my background is a gladiator.
Yeah, because you're a
And
performer and a fighter, so that's part
Yeah.
of why like he might know you, like you look familiar, but he might not know you like well.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just riffing here. Oh, did you see my fight with the Jake Nine Fingers?
He says, "Yes, I won 5 gold from that one. Good job."
Uh,
And he kind of tip you a wink. He says, "I always like to make it over to the fights."
yeah. Know if they're having any this moon?
He says, "Well, yes, actually, they're going to be having one in about a 10 day." And so weeks in D&D are called 10 days. They are creatively 10 days long, and there are 3 of them per month. So he
Well,
tells
if we're
you,
here that long, maybe I can go, but
yeah,
I want more fights.
he says, well, you could always arrange a scrap in the meantime, but nothing as grand as you could find over on the plateau.
Aye.
So what are you guys doing? As he kind of will grab you up a table next to the fire and offer you your beverages of choice. The fire brandy is the
brandy.
house recommendation. Yes, exactly. Uh, I don't know what everyone's having.
I'll try this brandy.
Do you happen to just
Alright.
have a cup of cream?
He says,
Like milk?
I'll ask the kitchen. And
Sounds
it looks
like
kind of looks at you quizzically and wanders off, and he's like, "What about you, Lopenea? Are you having a brandy as well?"
Oh, I said, let's try one of these brandies.
And he's like, "3 fire brandies and a cat." On the way back into the kitchen, and he's like, "Somebody dig up some milk."
So one of the reasons why I wanted to have a horse was because I have this vial, which is like like a
It's
stem.
huge.
And so I not to carry it with him, like he wants the horse to be his vial like carrier. But once we're in town, he'd probably bring it and like bust it out
Sure.
and play like starting off with like tuning it, and then maybe leaving the case in front of him to maybe get coppers or something. But
Regale us with stuff from Kids Bard.
yeah.
I love it.
You know that reference, my friend.
Oh yeah,
Hot
definitely.
cross buns, that kind of stuff. Song about cake he made up.
I love cake. Oh, food
I
motivated.
love cake. Cake is good. Cake is good. I love cake.
This is Kids Bard.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as you guys are doing that, do you want to give me a performance check, Liam, to see how your discount Kid Bop's career will go, or if you need to keep your day job?
Keep your day.
Maybe keep practicing for now. Might be the crowd. They're a tough
I need
crowd.
to tune it more.
It needs a little more brandy.
I cover my ears, but I'm still swaying like I like it.
Yeah, very nice.
I was like, this branding makes everything better.
All right. So with this, a human man comes in. He's not wearing really a lot of armor. He seems to be wearing his like regular clothes. Coming from his home, but he does have a weapon on him. But he's just like, approaches you. Liam, are you playing that at the table, or are you just kind of?
He would probably he wouldn't stand, he would sit if there's a little platform for people to perform on. He would sit
Yeah.
on that platform.
Okay, gotcha. So then you'll see this human man enter from your corner, and approach the table where your new friends are hanging out. He kind of eyes you and notices again the little pin on Violet's shirt and says, "I see that you have news for me." What has happened that has caused such an urgent? He doesn't usually break out the teleportations and such unless something has truly gone awry.
Liam would stop playing and like look up and say, "Are you Markram?"
He says, "Yes, I am Markham." He says pointedly, like
I
Mark Ham. No, you're good.
remembered it wrong. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're good. He's like, "That's fine."
Can I just do insight check to make sure he is who he is, who he's saying he
Yeah,
is?
sure. You guys have had a day.
We be dealing with liars. All right.
Yeah, you're pretty sure that was Bearing, and you might have actually recognized him slightly, although you never interacted with him. This is certainly the lawman of the town.
Yeah, he has probably the same look of the.
Yeah, he looks pretty similar to his brother. Yeah.
I'll
So-
say I think he's okay, and I'll start to play again.
Nice.
So Violet, being super excited that she's doing her job efficiently, like just starts like excitedly shaking his hand and be like, "We just came from a town. We thought there were giants. Well, there were giants. There were sky giants, but people were dead. There were no bodies. There were weird dart things. Here's a weird dart thing. And oh, and there's an assassin thing. Here's a snake thing." And I try to like draw him a picture of what the snake thing looked like.
Oh my god. You see as he like shakes your hand, he's like trying to avoid your claws, but he's like still being friendly, and he's just like, yeah, looks very confused, he's trying to take it all in. He's like looking around. Are you guys making any faces or anything while this is happening? He's just
No,
kind
literally, while she's like after she's like done like letting it all out, I was like, and also some more grim news. A lot, most of the people have either fled or they are dead from stones that have fallen from the sky in the town of, what was the town's name called?
Nightstone.
Nightstone.
That's right. And the town of Nightstone, and the Nightstone itself was taken, seemingly by cloud giants.
I'm gonna, yeah, and I'll assume that Violet, your rant included Lady Nandar dying. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause that was part of the news. Okay, all right. So yeah, so you kind of follow in with that. All right, got it.
Yeah, like it's just like in a slower tone. Like
Yeah,
a
just
little
much more
relaxed.
calm, just doing the thing.
Yeah, like essentially like parroting her, but slower.
You give me a regular intelligence check, Josh. Just
Yeah.
one right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. And so then, okay, yeah. So you started to forget that you were supposed to look like an old man for a second, but just in time, you didn't talk like your normal self, and
Oh,
you
yeah,
came out with your old man voice.
Oh yes.
I'm here.
Nice. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, oh god, something in my throat. Well, anyways, the whole thought, the whole thought around it is that a lot of people have died, a lot of good people have died. There was an assassin sent, and well, right now we're in a bit of a pickle because it seems that this is a relatively unknown / well-known guild of assassins. That killed 4 adventurers that tried to help out the town, along with there being many, many goblins.
Just off
With the weapon
topic.
that she is holding in her hand.
What is it?
Just off topic real quick. With his old man voice mixed with his Morel voice, he sounded fucking just like Voldemort.
Yeah, right. But I was just gonna say
Fucking freaked me out
that
for a second.
one thing I was gonna clarify for your sake, and not to correct, but just so you did know, it was not a very well-known thing. It was actually highly unusual that Violet was able to know anything about them. Rumors, whispers, digging, scraping, and investigating some pretty dark and seedy corners to find that kind of information. So, and again, you can say whatever, but I figured you're not intentionally being deceitful, so I wanted to clarify.
No, I'm intentionally doing it this way
Yeah,
because you said it
exactly.
beforehand that was extremely secretive,
Yeah.
but I don't know
I
necessarily.
mean, she said that she
how
shared
secretive.
with you what she do. So if you want to
Okay.
go that way, it's up to you.
Yeah, it's like this guild of assassins doing the wet work, as it were, and that is what we have come here to tell you, along with the missive from your brother.
I'm imagining at this time,
that's,
Violet comes up with the drawing of the little snake, like,
Can I please roll performance to see how
yes,
bad it was?
yes, I want this performance. But you're gonna smile the same no matter what, right?
Yes.
I'm super proud of whatever I did.
You know, it kind of to you guys looks like an abstract thing of like a spiral. But you know, she's got the spirit. And
Yeah,
so,
and then, like, and the actual missive.
right, yes,
Violet?
exactly. So he'll read through the missive and he says, "Well, I see that you've already proven yourselves to be handy in a pinch, and that is good news. Um, although this troubles me greatly. And I see here that he is also contacting some of the others if necessary. And he says, but this is grave news indeed. But for my part," and he'll reach over and gesture toward the Flamebeard and just say, give them rooms and board on the town. And they're here on official business. And he'll look up to you all and say, as I must confer with my deputy sheriff and some of the town members and the speaker as well. But in the morning, I will come and meet with you and potentially take you to the town hall to meet the speaker. Is there anything that I can do for you for this evening? It seems that you've already been through much. There's probably like a spot of blood juice, berry juice that you missed, you know, just like a little, just a little something on.
Yeah, I believe. Dear, you, Miss Blossom, you were stabbed. So a nap is in order.
Out of character. Let's get some potions.
Yeah, right. But you do got that staff of healing. About you just have to look at it if you can actually use it.
I'll look at. Do you want me to just look up the regular magic item?
Yeah, as I can tell you because I put it on your sheet too.
Okay.
So at this stage, though, yeah, out of game, though, you're like, I need some healing, right? And in game, you could even say so, right? There's nothing wrong with in game asking for some potions of healing to be completely free for you.
Actually, potions of healing. We don't have anyone traveling with us that can.
Yeah, so it's like let's say Liam had that idea too. So yeah, so he says, yes, I'll see what I can do. I don't know if I'll be able to have them this evening, but certainly on the morrow I'll get with our alchemist and make sure that they get you something brewed up.
Before we're stabbed again. Hopefully.
All right. And so, for our last note for the evening, before we start our stream, I will tell you, for this item, because it was the only thing like it, actually, it requires attunement by a bard, cleric, or druid. So unfortunately, not right now. But that doesn't mean that if any of you multi-class or something party composition changes. But it has 10 charges. And so you can use it to do a mass cure wounds if you use 5 charges of it.
Oh, yeah.
2 charges to do lesser restoration, or 1 charge per spell level on a cure wounds up to 4th level.
That would be nice.
It's a very nice item, and there wasn't a wand of healing at all.
The full-blown staff.
Yeah, just the full-blown staff. So anyway, so you said that is where we will leave things for the evening. I feel that you're pretty quickly going to be level 4. It won't take long. And I guarantee we're going to have more punching / whatever next time. Yeah.
Yay! I
Yes.
already see someone getting really excited.
By the way, that whole time that he's talking to the party and he's talking about potions and this and that, my character finished off from Brandy is just rocking back and forth.
Oh yeah. Well, you can when we open up, we'll do some Constitution checks and see how you guys dealt with the brandy. You got to have some surprises for next time, you know.
Exactly.
Just like wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I'm so hungover.
Well, I never had it before, so I
me
just
after 2
guzzled
drinks.
it because I was thirsty, so it's gone.
But for me though, you know, I had a good time. You know, I know session openers can always be a little bit rocky,
I thought it was
but I feel like we got along pretty well.
yeah.
I feel like it was pretty smooth. I enjoyed myself, and thank you again for running.
Absolutely. Like I said, next week I'll be ready for hopefully a solid 3-hour session, because those are or it's 3 to 4 depending, because I know we started at 7. We did do technically 3 hours of game, you know, so it feels good, but I like to be ready for 3 or 4.
3 hours, like we started right at 7.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, we got a solid session in, right? I feel great about it.
If anybody
know.
wants to start earlier next week, just let me know. I mean, I'm off every Saturday, so we want to start at 6:30. That way, we're not running until 11 or whatever.
It's up to you
Cool.
guys because
next Saturday for
she's
think
got to be
Cinder
somewhere until.
Country.
So I think we need to start at 7 or
Okay,
7:30
I wasn't
even.
sure. I wasn't sure if it was. Oh, I forgot what date it was. So I was like, is it this day or that day?
Who doesn't
Yeah,
forget
no,
what day
it's-
it is sometimes right now?
Yeah.
All right. But yeah. So anyway, good game, guys. And like I'll talk to you either throughout the week or see you on Saturday.
Heck yeah.
All right. Peace
Y'all
out,
have a-
everybody.
Peace. All right. Good night.
Goodbye,
Mwah.
everybody.
Love you.